Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 154. Sean is currently out at a party, I believe, St. Patrick's Day party, but I bet you he's going to end up in the chat at some point if he hasn't already. But we still have a bunch of people here, still have plenty of stuff to go over. Let me see where you start with tonight. Let's start with MVG. What's going on?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. It's been a couple of weeks since I was on the show, so good to be back, and thanks for having me.
Got you back. Well, now we can have 50 people in here if we want.
Yeah,
we can go crazy. We could have all of YouTube on here if we want right now. But I don't know if I want to test it. I'm worried Discord will just like catch on fire, explode. Yeah, I mean, we see.
It'll be like the Fortnite podcast. It'll be a battle royale. People come in, people get kicked off. It'll be great. I'm
telling you, man. It looks. Yeah, I'm a little concerned when I hear that you can do 50 people in one of these. We got OJ, Player Essence. What's up, man? How's it going tonight?
What's up, man? It's going pretty good. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. So I'm excited to get into it. And I slept all day today, so I am energized. I'm ready to go, man.
Very nice, very nice. Then we have Miss Click. Miss Click, your internet seems to be working now. That's good.
Yeah, if I DC, I chat. I told them if I DC, I'm probably not coming back. So it was nice knowing you. I've just been dealing with it all day today. So yeah, but other than that, everything's great. Thanks for having me.
And we got Jordan. Jordan, what's up, man? How's it going?
Not bad. Glad to be here.
Yo, how's that Animal Crossing Switch look in real life?
As good as you'd think it would.
Yeah, because I don't think
really
don't think that I think those colors are kind of hard to get through on camera.
Yeah,
they're very
mint pastel color. Yeah,
seafoam green.
I do notice. I think Bob Wolf he showed off in his video. He compared the logo like even on the back of the Switch to the regular Switch, and where it says Nintendo Switch and has the square with the Joy-Cons, it's a different shade of white because it's matching like the off-white color that's on the back of the Joy-Cons. So it's there's a lot of detail put into it. I think this is probably their best like Switch special edition they've ever made.
Now I just gotta make one for Zelda, and I will definitely buy that.
I guarantee for the next game they'll definitely.
With how much work they're putting into Metroid Prime 4, there has to be a special edition Metroid Prime 4 Switch. I would buy that immediately. That's actually a system I would buy, and I wouldn't even take it apart.
I don't know. Something tells me they would do like a really cool controller, maybe like Xenoblade had for like Metroid Prime.
A controller would be cool too, though. Yeah,
like a really dope controller for it. I mean, of course, like a system would be great too.
But they did that new 3DS Metroid system. They got to do a new like a Switch 3D or a Switch Metroid.
They did it. They did a Diablo one. Now everything you have to do everything after Diablo.
Yeah, I'm telling you that. Man, that now I want that. All right, we'll see if that happens. Max, what's up, man? Dreamcast guy.
Good, man. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons all day, so I got to get back in the gamer mindset right now. But this is probably one of the craziest news weeks ever. E3 canceled.
Everything
canceled. Everything canceled. Yeah.
I'm surprised Spawncast isn't canceled. Let's be honest.
Hey, too many games is still on. All right, I'll be there.
Kind of funny. I'm a big fan of Kind of Funny. Kind of Funny Games released an official Twitter video saying that basically they're canceled now. They're gonna just like film it from home because they're like we don't want to go to downtown San Francisco to film it. We're afraid to get people sick.
Yeah.
That's true. They're in that area. I'll say I still go to the office. I was there today. There. I'm out there.
He doesn't care if he gets Evan sick.
Nate, what's up, man? How's it going? Direct Feed Games or Nate the Hate? Which one do you want to promote tonight?
Both. Why do I have to be limited to one option?
Well, you got one slot in the description, man.
Well, that's bullshit.
I think you should promote Nate the Hate because that channel is rolling. It's got some personality behind it.
That personality
has an Australian. It has me.
That's what I mean. It has some.
What more do people want?
Some long form podcast, man.
Sick nasty thumbnails.
You know what I'm confused. You know what I'm interested in, Nate. What I'm interested in is you do record a lot of gameplay footage. Why don't you just put some gameplay up while you guys are doing your podcast stuff?
No.
That's a great idea.
It's not a bad idea, Nate. You'd have to be so damn blunt about it.
Just no.
You could have said like, okay, I can think about it. You didn't have to just say no.
Nate hates that idea.
You come to look at the thumbnail of Sean becoming Cthulhu, and then you listen to MVG and I serenade you with our toxic voices.
But wouldn't it be good to have like Ori playing, so it kind of sits there with that the kind of the voices and everything, it's really relaxing while you're watching Ori getting played.
No,
What's wrong with Ori?
because I want to highlight Evan's beautiful artwork.
Plus, we're going to move. We're not moving, but we're going to get set up on podcasting
Expanding.
app as well. So,
Oh, nice. Going to be on.
process of setting that up now.
Very
Oh,
nice. So
man,
people can
Puggies.
go on like any of the podcasts and everything.
Spotify and Apple and Google. Should be coming probably next week.
Oh, that's great. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Very nice. Very nice. Awesome. And then Evan, what's up, man? How's it going tonight? We're gonna keep that internet rolling, right?
Hopefully, Comcast doesn't screw me over today. We'll see.
About to roll at 360p tonight. All right. It was a busy week, but we're gonna start with some of the stuff we've been playing. So hit me with it. I know Ori came out. Who played Ori?
Dude, I'm at the very end. I haven't quite finished the ending, but if I had to say, I think it's my favorite game of the year so far.
How long is Ori?
Wow.
Because I think I might be about 3/4 of the way through.
I think it took me about 11 hours to get to the end.
Okay, I'm like 7 hours in. So yeah, almost there.
It goes on a while, and I've been doing it. I have a personal rule with Ori where every side quest I encounter that isn't going to take a super long time, I've been doing. So I have been stopping to do actually quite a few side quests.
Yeah, I was doing some of those too. Where they're like, you'll get some. There's like this item exchange side quest that I was doing where you keep going between people. Yeah, okay, that was one that I kept running into.
I like the speed run trials. I did those a couple times over and over again.
Those are really fun too. Yeah, I was doing those. I just like the game looks good. It looks very good in motion. It is, of course, like a Metroidvania style game where you get abilities and then other parts of the world, like the map, will open up. It has some weird performance issues on the X. I don't know if that's just me that notices this, but I do notice like during like some combat, the frame rate drops a bit.
I saw
on the
Rob
X.
Rula 2 review. He talked about it too. Like it going to different zones locks up a little bit.
Yeah,
and then there's
it's only for me zoning. I'm playing on an Xbox One S. I didn't try it on PC, but on the Xbox One S, going to a new zone, it will freeze for 3 to sometimes 7 or 8 seconds, and during that time the music will still playing. I'll still hear like splashes of environment and stuff, but you're just stuck sitting there. You can't even pause it. It's just sitting there. I know
you're
really
talking
weird.
about. Yeah, it looks really good though on the X. It's 4K. It looks great. The controls are very, very good, very responsive, and the music is amazing with that game. Like it really does hit you like when you're playing it. Kind of that emotional feel to it. Really enjoying it right now. I gotta finish it because I gotta see what the ending is. All right, but I'm liking Ori a lot. Like this is one of my favorite games so far this year.
Nice.
What do you got on it, MVG? You're posting pictures. You got it early. I had to wait because they sent me the wrong key or something. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm playing it on the PC on Steam, and I'm getting the same performance issues. So it's not
interesting.
it's not just the One X. And honestly, I really like the game. Don't get me wrong, but I've stopped playing because the performance things really pissed me off. And I kind of
this is on a GTX. This is on a 1080, right? GTX
1080 Ti.
Wow. Okay.
So the issues that Max just mentioned, where you go into a new area and it kind of stutters for a while, and just all that stuff happens on the PC as well. So I just want
weird.
I'm waiting for a patch. I'm like about 5 hours in, and I've kind of just stopped because it kind of bugs me enough where I'm not enjoying the game as much because I know it's going to start.
The flow.
Yeah, and so I'm just waiting for them to patch it, and hopefully they will. I'm sure they will. Great game otherwise. Yeah.
Visually though, if you're playing it, like people were joking that like every second is like a wallpaper almost for your
absolutely.
Computer. It really is. It really is when you're playing it. But Nate, what'd you think of it so far? You're a big Ori fan.
I actually didn't have time to play it this week.
Oh boy. All right.
I have it downloaded.
Fake gamer.
I went to go play it. The battery wasn't charged on my Xbox controller. I was like, okay, I'll charge it up, and then I didn't have any time to sit down with it. But tomorrow is my planned Ori day.
All right.
Is this on the VCR, Nate?
Yeah, so I'm expecting it to run at about 20 frames a second.
Well, hey, but you're gonna get. I assume you're gonna get a Series X, right? So eventually you'll be able to experience it
eventually
as a tolerable game.
Yeah, in 4K and hopefully a stable frame rate by then. I mean, the developers keep saying they are going to push a patch out. They are investigating why they're getting these performance issues. So hopefully they have it all resolved in the next few weeks or month.
Yeah, it's good though. I really like the game. It's a good follow up to the first one. I think it has like an 89 or a 90 on Metacritic, so it rolled along with it with reviewers as well. So good start there for Microsoft for the year, I'll say. And it was on Game Pass. So if you got Game Pass, you just go download it. It was pretty easy. But
did you see the collector's edition? I saw people tweeting it out. It was really artsy and cool looking. I kind of
I didn't see that. I'll check that out.
It's big. Yeah, there's pictures. Check it out. I like it.
Yeah, that's my problem when like these Game Pass games, like when they come out, I don't even really think too much about going out to buy a physical one unless it's like Halo Infinite. I'm gonna buy probably the collector's edition.
Oh yeah, same.
But like Ori, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I'll just download it on Game Pass.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So, but it looks really good. Okay, Nate. Well, why don't you tell us, Nate, everybody, what you played instead of Ori?
I actually didn't really play much in terms of games this week. I think I played Legend of Heroes 3 on the Switch. I downloaded that demo just so I could capture some footage. And the week prior, I had captured footage of a weird eShop game called In Bento, which you make bento boxes, but it's like a puzzle game of a mama cat feeding her kitten. It's actually kind of fun for a puzzle game. It's cute. It's whimsical. And yeah, I didn't really actually play much in terms of games this week.
It's just a busy week.
Busy week. It's also Tuesday was the anniversary of my father's passing, so it was kind of one of those weeks.
Sure. Gotcha. But tomorrow's Ori Day, right?
That is the plan.
All right, cool. That'll work. There's nothing else to do, so. All right.
That's true.
No XFL.
Which sucks.
Yeah, I oddly missed that this week, like today. I was like, there's no even XFL on.
I'm so upset. Ugh.
It's weird, man. Everything's canceled.
Yeah, oh my god, that makes me so mad.
We're still here. We're still here.
Yeah, but I got friends that are playing and they were so excited to play, like to get another shot. To maybe
they don't know if they're gonna play another game this season, right?
No, they don't know. I got a couple of my friends that are on the Los Angeles team, and they're just like, dude, we don't know what's going on. Like we're just here. We're not getting paid. Like.
Oh, they said they were going to pay the rest of the salary.
They did, but some people haven't gotten paid yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So apparently they're going. Apparently they're going to, but it's not like usually you get your game check, right? Like right before it goes into your, you get your game check. Some people, I guess, haven't been getting their game, haven't got their game check. Coming here. So hopefully they fix it though, because yes, they did say that they're paying everybody, but some.
They said they're committed to a 2021 season too. So
yes, they were happy. They were happy about that, but there are a few issues because ticket sales were really good. People were going out to the games, So people were going to the games, which is good. You got to get people there. Like one game had 30,000 plus people there, but now you don't have all that. Like that was really important.
What they should do is they should just come back if it's like a month-long hiatus, and then just do a tournament real quick to finish up.
Ooh,
one and done tournament.
I think the season was almost. It was only a 8 or 10 game season anyway. So
yeah, they should just random draw one and done tournament, because that would only take 3 weeks anyway. With 8 teams, it wouldn't take long, and just do it that way, just to finish up. What about Miss Click? What'd you play this week, Miss Click?
I actually finally got to start playing Nier Automata.
Oh, nice. Were you playing on PS4?
PC.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had to do all those fan-made mods to get the game to run.
Oh my gosh!
But other than that, it was it was mainly just setting it up to be set for controller on PC, because it's really weird and you can't tab out. They don't have borderless windows, so it's not a very friendly game to stream on PC. You know what I'm saying? It's probably easier to just stream it on PS4.
Yeah.
But I rather would have just had it on my PC, to be honest. But I mean, it's good. It's good. We just finished I had legitimately done so well at avoiding spoilers for that game that I legitimately, spoilers, cover your ears if no one wants to know in chat, but I genuinely did not know that I'm gonna have to basically play through the game 3 times.
Yep.
When I heard that there were multiple endings, I thought it would reset you back to a certain point, and then you would have to do something different or something. I didn't know you were gonna have to play through each perspective, which is fine. We started 9S's playthrough today, and then I started having internet problems, but I already encountered one of the joke endings, because they have so many of them, and I was like, wait, what? And then I'm just sitting there and visually confused.
Did you unplug your brain?
No, I didn't even know that's a thing. No, I like walked forward instead of walking like to the left, and then it's like he disappeared and was never seen from again. And I'm like, wait, what? And everybody's like, haha. And I'm like, that's not funny. I have to redo that whole part all over again.
When you beat it, I want to talk to you. There are some mega spoilers about that game. It's old, but I still don't. When you get to them, when you unlock the final ending, talk to me.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, people have just been hyping this game up for so long, and like
it's good.
Ending A was like it was good. You know, it felt good. It kind of felt like how I felt at the end of Astral Chain, like solid. You know, but I was just like, I feel like there could be something more. And then when people are like, okay, you have to play through it like again, and then again, I was like, kind of pissed, but at the same time I was like, all right, that's fine. If you're telling me it's all different and adds different layers, like if I'm mentally prepared to play through 3 houses, you know, like this is shorter than that. I'll just do that.
When you get the true ending, I think it's going to get put in your top 10 favorite games of all time. I think the true ending totally... It's so great.
Like it. Okay.
There's also DLC. If you end up loving the game and want to do DLC, there's DLC where you fight the president of Square Enix. He flies into the game and you battle him. Yes, literally, he flies down and it literally says like, "This is the president of Square Enix," and he's like, "Whoa!" and you fight him as like the god of gaming. It's
oh my god, that's so funny.
What about Jordan?
Just a lot of mystery dungeon this week.
How you liking it?
I think it's great for what it is. It's the exact mystery dungeon I wanted, but I can totally see.
Play. Yeah, it's a cutie game.
Yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying it.
It actually
I wanted to play Ori, but
it sold pretty well in Japan.
Yeah, Japan got all the good stuff for it. Like we got no like merch for it at all, but Japan got so much merch for this. So I guess there's a huge market for specifically mystery dungeon in Japan, but I'm enjoying the game a lot. I know a lot of people aren't into it, but I'm into it, and this is holding me over until Animal Crossing, and I'm cool with that.
I think there are a lot of people into it. Just a lot of people like to talk shit about stuff. But there are, I mean, but there are like a lot of people do like Mystery Dungeon. Like a lot of people do like the franchise and like the game. You know.
I think it's a cool concept. Like when because I hadn't played one before, and so it was like, all right, well, I'm not really driven by nostalgia for it. Like I'm kind of just like jumping in, and it was fun. Like I got to play a couple more hours, and I played a little bit more off of stream. But I like the mechanics of it. Every now and then, it's like you can tell it's more of like a recreation where it like moves up, down, and the diagonals. You know what I mean? It's not like a flowy game. It's very like because it's by the square moves. So it just took a while to get used to, but I did like it in the mechanics and how the enemies like only move when you move. Like I liked that. Like it was really cool. It's like a puzzle on its own, and I don't know. I like it. I don't know why people were bashing it. I had fun. I don't know.
Mostly because you could tell it's a Game Boy Advance game. Like I'd rather them just do a whole new one. Like, I think Jordan would be. I even think that Jordan would prefer a whole new one.
Not if they were going the same style they were doing with the 3DS ones. I'd honestly rather have a remake of the next games as well after this. Like, I hope this does well enough where they take the DS series, the Explorer series, and do a remake of those. And then if there's still interest there, go ahead and make a new one in this style, obviously with, more modern day fixes. And I'd be down for that more than anything. But if they continued the way the 3DS ones went, I'm out of the series, sure.
Okay. There you go. What about MVG? Playing together than Ori?
Other than Ori, nothing else this week, man. That was the only thing that got me interested. Obviously, next week is a big week.
Oh man, next week's gonna be fun. Next week's gonna be big. Gotta figure out what I'm starting. I think I'm going with Doom first. You going Doom first?
Yeah.
That's a practical choice.
I mean, I can't. Animal Crossing is going to be a year-long thing, years-long thing.
At least.
I'm going Doom and then Doom 64.
Oh yeah, that's right. Doom 64 getting that new chapter at the end.
Yeah, I got to play that.
Yeah, that'll be good. What about Max, Dreamcast guy?
What have I been playing? I just Ori, but I've also been trying to prepare a lot and watching a bunch of stuff because we're about to get this new beta is about to begin for Phantasy Star 2, but they've actually said some weirdness, which is that this beta doesn't have an end date and they don't know when they're going to end it. It sounds like it's going to be a soft launch.
Oh, nice.
They're just going to put it out there and then eventually the game will be released. So I've kind of just been preparing and spending a lot of this week playing through Phantasy Star 1 again, Phantasy Star Online 1 again, and then I've also just been kind of like watching videos of the people who played a bunch of it in Japan.
That's That's on the 17th, right?
Yeah, it starts 7 p.m. 7 p.m. for me on the 17th, and it's so weird, but I've never heard of a soft launch like that, but it makes sense because it is just an online game. So
yeah, that's cool. Very nice. Yeah, I'll be getting on that too.
Dude, yeah. If you want to party up, I've actually been meeting a lot of people on there, and I don't know, everybody in Phantasy Star 2 so far has been so nice.
Very nice, very nice. What about OJ?
Been playing Ori, like everyone else, and like MVG said, like I have a PC copy because Microsoft randomly sent me a PC copy.
Oh, is it Xbox Play Anywhere or is it PC?
Well, not the Windows version is. I got the Steam isn't. So.
Oh, they got your Steam. Oh man.
Yeah, they got me a Steam. I'm like, what the hell is this? But so I've been playing it on there. I think I'm gonna just buy the game on the Xbox One. But yeah, I've been playing it. I'm probably not too far, but yeah, I do like it. There are some performance issues, and it kind of sucks. Like the past two Metroidvania games, like Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, that had some performance issues. It's like when you play a Metroidvania, you don't want any performance issues. It's like 2D, so it's kind of like it kind of sucks when that happens. It's like, man, can we just get one modern one that's just like 60, no problem? That isn't like a smaller end one, like 3000 Duel or something like that. So that kind of sucks, but it's still a really good game, and I'm pretty sure they'll get a patch out to fix things. Been playing that, and then also the Trails of Cold Steel. Legend of Heroes. There was a demo, Japanese eShop demo. That game's really good. It looks like a PS2 game, but it's just graphically it looks like a PS2 game. But the combat for a turn-based game is absolutely phenomenal. And that's what people really love about Falcom games. That's why people always cry and whine about bring it over to Switch and stuff like that. Because Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, that game's really good. Looks like a PS2 game. It's really good. This one's also really good. This one's a turn-based RPG, and I love the depth. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but you can see that the depth is in there. With that game.
We're usually a bit more forgiving with JRPGs when it comes to visuals for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, it was just I didn't really care too much. I'm just saying when people see it, they're gonna be like, oh wow, that doesn't it doesn't seem like much, but the mechanics in there and the depth, you can just tell from it's going to be really good and why people really like this game. I mean, it's already on PS4. It's coming to Switch, I think in May or something like that. There's a nice special edition. I just went and pre-ordered that. So yeah, really looking forward to that game. Anything else I played? Normal stuff, Smash Brothers.
Sure.
But it's going to be tough now because it looks like a lot of the stuff is canceled. Like the Smash World Tour stuff.
That's a shame. They look like they were actually going to get something going there with that.
Yeah, it is a shame. I was thinking about going down to Los Angeles for like a 2GG. Like they wanted one of the other adventures wanted me to come down and commentate, but it looks like everything is canceled. So it just sucks. But yeah, I've still been playing Smash. Hopefully they change that up. And it looks like Evo might be next. Evo might be next on the chopping block, man. I was thinking about going to Evo this year too, just like interviews and stuff like that. So when's
Evo supposed to be? Because they announced Marvel vs. Capcom 2 also for that, right?
Yeah. There's a nice little Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament that's going. Yeah, this Evo was going to be the biggest Evo ever.
They might still. I mean, it depends. It depends where we are at that time. They might still have it.
They might. People were saying that it's going to be canceled, but if I was them, there's no way in hell that I'm canceling that. Like you've got to just hopefully just wait it out, man. And just people want to come, people can come, but I mean, it just depends on what the city of Las Vegas
that's the other thing.
Is it July?
Yeah, it's July. It's July.
I feel like from what I've heard that hopefully it's blown over by May.
I'm hoping. I'm really because I really don't want Evo to be canceled this year because this year is going to be so good, whether you're a casual fan or not. I mean, there's some great stuff happening this year. There's going to be some cool stuff announced too. So
I'm not even a big Evo person, but when I saw Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it reminded me of the old days for that, and they showed kind of the lineup they were bringing in. And I was like, I might actually watch some of that.
Oh, you definitely got to watch it.
It's going to be awesome. It's invitation only, so all the killers from the old days are going to be competing in it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Please don't let it ride. Let it ride.
That game is so busted. It's fun to watch. I can't stand playing against somebody who's good. I used to get my butt kicked by the Asian dudes in the arcade. But man, it's so fun to watch.
The Magneto Infinite combo. My buddy would do just in the corner forever. It's like, stop!
For how many characters that game has, there's only 5 characters people actually.
Yeah,
exactly. It has 50 characters.
Are you sensible? Yeah, exactly.
I think did I get everyone? Oh, Evan.
I've just been grinding away in Warframe, trying to get caught
I keep
up.
seeing you in Warframe, man.
I got buddies playing it, and I'm trying to
to
catch them up. There's big expansion coming up in the next week or two that we want to be ready for.
Yeah, I keep seeing him. I'm like, what's he doing in there? Okay, so he's getting ready for the expansion.
I just like watching Warframe streams because everybody's like doing all the flips and the twists while they run, and it's just a really cool looking game.
See, coronavirus is in chat and said, "Are you keeping your butt clean?" So yes, coronavirus.
Oh.
All right, Jordan. I also I've been playing some games. Okay, maybe some of you'd be interested in. A lot of skateboarding games. Okay, I've been checking out all the skateboarding games for 2020. There's currently 3 that are coming out this year. All right, got Skater XL, got Sessions, played Session, and I didn't get a chance to play Skatebird because they had a demo, but it's not up anymore.
It's not the only skateboarding game. There's one more. I don't know how it's fully going to play, but it looks pretty good. I'm trying to get the name of it right.
What's the other one? Yeah. Let me know what the other one is, because I have Session.
Skate Story.
Is that like another simulation skateboarding game?
Search it up. Just go to Twitter and type in Skate Story. They have a lot of videos on there. Apparently, they were at PAX. They had a small booth. I didn't see it.
Huh.
But it looks interesting. It almost looks like you're going through like a maze or like a dungeon almost. I don't know if that's the right word, but you're going towards something through like I believe it's supposed to be hell. And you're just doing tricks and grinding stuff on the way down, and it's really cool and interesting.
Okay, well, Session
that one has my interest.
Session and Skater XL are like simulation skateboarding games.
I mean, this is still, aside from the setting, like it's still showing like how the tricks are being done, similar to those other games.
Session is actually very difficult. These are both $20 on Steam. Skater XL is coming to the Switch and the PS4 this year. And I think out of the two of them, Session might be the better one, but I think Skater XL might be closer to being ready for like consumers to play. Because Session, dude, they added like the skate control where you just use the right stick, and I think it sounds weird, Jordan, because we both play a lot of Skate 3.
Yeah,
I think the controls that these newer games are onto might be the way that Skate 3 goes, but I think, or if Skate 4 ever happens, I should say, but I think they would do probably a better job just because they have obviously a larger budget and bigger workforce behind it. But the idea is the right and the left stick control either foot. So like the left stick would control your back foot and the right stick control your front foot. And you
I can
do your
see how
tricks
that
way.
I can
So
see
you pull like the left stick down to get ready to ollie, and then instead of just pressing up on the right stick, you'll press up and diagonal, and it'll have you do a kick flip.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's actually kind of neat, but Session takes it a little further, where you have to go to a neutral position before you grind, and then you input the grinding position. It's very strange with them, but I think Skater XL is a little easier for people to grab and play. So I like what I'm seeing so far, but I need that big budget one to come out, like a Skate 4 that kind of takes this to the next level.
Yeah.
But they're pretty cool. They're $20 each on Steam in early access. So and hopefully Skater XL comes out soon, couple months. But I was playing a lot of skateboarding games this week next to Ori. Nice. And I did pick up Nioh 2, Max. I just haven't played it yet. I installed it on the PS4.
I played a good chunk of it now. I like it. It's exactly what a sequel should be. I still think it's easier, but I think that's a good thing. There's more weapons, there's more magic. You have a custom character this time. I don't know. It seems like one of the things I like most about Nioh 2 over Nioh 1 is it seems like there's more ways past bosses. If you get stuck, sometimes there will be a secondary route, or at one point there were these super demons in my path and I was able to just break through a wall. It was like this big like living crystal thing. I don't know. It feels, I mean, not to say anything like negative sounding, but it feels like it's copying Dark Souls better.
Okay. Very nice. Let's move over. Evan, do we have any Discord questions?
Yeah, we do. Go with this one. What is the reasoning behind buying into an MMO near the end of a typical long-term game as service lifespan, as opposed to holding out for, let's say, Phantasy Star Online 3?
Oh, you're talking about, okay, so this specifically is for Phantasy. I don't know if there's gonna be a 3 anytime soon. Okay, not for Phantasy Star anyway. 2's been going on forever. That came out in what, 2012 or something.
It took this long for it to come to the US, so I mean, I think the fans really want to see it. So I would say they're still gonna
port that to other platforms apparently too. It's Xbox is just the first one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if we're just now getting the open beta release on the
They're gonna give it
Xbox,
some time to breathe.
it'll be a while. And
Yeah.
even so, I mean, World of Warcraft's been going on for how long?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 15 years, and it's still very playable.
this is basically Sega's like
The trick with
kinda World
Phantasy
of
Star
Warcraft.
Online too, though, is a lot of people our side of the world are now getting it, so it's like they get this big ball of content. Whereas with World of Warcraft, it started early for people, so it's just like an
Slowly,
age
yeah.
thing, and people,
Right.
older people are like, I was there at the beginning, and then you got the younger people who are playing it at the end. But this is like you just get all of it.
and they keep adding more and more stuff to it too.
I think as somebody who has done MMOs late, because last year I played through everything of Final Fantasy 14. I played through 5 years of content in 1 year. And it was actually an extremely pleasurable experience. You got to hear so many like different storylines and their full conclusions and see all these epic dragon immortal boss fights. I kind of think that there's something fun about purposely joining online games late, because you get to skip the glitches, you get to skip the bad servers, you get to skip straight to when the game is polished.
Do they, like, if I may ask, because I haven't really played too many other MMOs, like for Final Fantasy or Phantasy Star, do they have like different, like for expansions or updates, like you can buy in to be up, like automatically leveled up? Kind of like with WoW, like you buy
A
an
lot
account?
do. So a lot do. World of Warcraft now has a leveling potion. Final Fantasy 14 has that as well. Final Fantasy 14, you can buy one. You can also, what you can do is you can buy to level up, and then still do the whole main story, but super strong now. The way you can see the crazy acting. Or if you want, you can even buy an item now that skips because there's 200 missions of the main story. If you just want to go straight to being able to fight all the super bosses, you can do that. I think the journey is the adventure, though. World of Warcraft Classic, though, they purposely don't allow that.
Right.
They're definitely super against that.
People would be really upset. Well, what about Phantasy Star? Do we know?
They have experience cards. I know that.
Yeah.
Like they have like experience things you can get that make you get more experience as you go through.
And there's lots of costumes. The main thing that's going to make money in Phantasy Star is all the coolest gear, all the stuff that's the coolest resolution stuff is in the shop. They've already said there's going to be classic costumes, so you can actually look like stuff from Phantasy Star 1. There's a Sonic the Hedgehog costume that's really creepy called the Sonic Pack, and you look like a robot Sonic. But I don't know.
Oh, and they had the Tails one where he's like...
Yeah. He's like, kill me! So
Oh man, Evan, do we have another Discord question?
Let's see. Which one is harder to review pre-release? A new Animal Crossing, a new MMO, or a new Strand game?
Oh, that's a good question, because the Strand, I bet you I haven't turned on Death Stranding in a while, but I bet you that looks even like really different now compared to what it was when we were playing it, just because so many people have played it. You connect, EA connect with those people.
But don't they reset it all after a week or so, every week or something?
Oh, is that what they do?
I think so. I think they keep kind of refreshing it.
I hope they add it though. Like if you could do that, like if you do setting like Endgame and it's just like a metropolis.
Yeah, but if you're like trying to review it before anyone else really has it, like that would probably make the Strand game kind of hard to review. But then you look at Animal Crossing, and I don't know how you review Animal Crossing easily, because that takes forever to play.
I feel like it would just have to be on like technicalities.
It just be maybe like the mechanics.
Yeah.
And, like
At minimum, the reviewers, I would feel, would need to have the game like a month ahead of time.
Apparently, they're having a hard time.
Same with MMOs.
Yeah. There was a word that it was. We'll say not that many people were getting Animal Crossing even that early. Some places were like, yeah, we'll get it on launch day. It's like, all right, good luck with that.
Right. My idea for the Animal Crossing review, because I feel like you just can't cover everything. It's too big. It's too crazy. So the idea I've been toying with for the last month is I think I'm going to play it with my fiance and get her opinions on it and kind of do a co-op review instead and kind of just talk about our journey and experience.
Fiance reviews.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a brand new original idea that's never been tapped.
Animal Crossing. I mean, Animal Crossing's been around for so long, people probably know what they're getting into. But I gotta say, there are a lot of people who are like looking at this Animal Crossing and have never played an Animal Crossing game before.
And my mind is blown, dude. Like, I'm so excited for people who finally get to play it. But I'm also worried because I know a lot of people are like, oh, this better be really fun. I'm like, just be prepared to literally pick apples and rearrange furniture. Yeah, like just be prepared. You can play God and like mess around with the landscape now.
See, that part's new. too. That's interesting.
No enemies. There's no combat. So if you didn't like Death Stranding, you might not like Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You guys, wait, you heard it right here. Animal Crossing is the Death Stranding of Nintendo Switch.
It's just a bunch of you just have a bunch of passive aggressive neighbors who tell you to run errands and give you wallpaper.
Take advantage of you.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say out of all of those, even an MMO, you can play through the main story part and be like, well, this is what happened in the story, and it was all right. Animal Crossing would be the one that would throw me through a loop trying to review that. Let's go over to E3. E3 was canceled. This threw some people through a loop because we heard about it the night before. It was starting to get rumored. It was going all over the place. People were freaking out, and then the next day they came out and said it was canceled. And I got to give some credit here. Okay, we got to give the credit because Nate and MVG definitely said on their Nate the Hate podcast that it was going to be canceled most likely.
Yep.
Nate, you were like almost positive that thing was getting canceled.
Yeah, I was 100% positive it was going to be canceled, and MVG said it in the podcast. It was going to be canceled within 48 hours. We recorded it on Friday, so we didn't count the weekend, and I mean by Wednesday morning it was canceled, so he was right on the money with his 48-hour prediction as well.
Yeah, it was a crazy day online. People were freaking out. It was all over the place. And now it almost seems like even the companies themselves, it's all Devolver on Twitter, unsure of what to do for a minute there. And then they're like, well, I guess we'll do our own stream, basically. And that seems like what everyone's doing. Everyone's just going to do their own stream, I guess. Square put out a statement saying they're going to figure something. I bet you Square had some cool stuff to show because they did say something about next generation in their little press release there. And then obviously Microsoft was going to show Series X, maybe Series S, and a whole bunch of next generation games, I would assume, ready for launch. But they'll have to do their own live stream. I wonder if they'll do it from that building. You think they'll still go to that building and set everything up?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they need to anymore. I think they can set it up themselves. And yeah, I mean, I think, E3 week as it is, I think E3 week is still going to happen, but it's just going to be a whole bunch of pre-recorded stuff, and I think it's still going to be.
I hope it's all in that week. Cool. I hope it's all in that week.
Dude, it's going to be the direct week. It's just going to be all directs.
Well, yeah, it makes me curious if they're going to stick to their same windows, where they normally would present, or if they're just going to kind of
probably move it around.
Whenever.
They'll probably move it around. Yeah.
I think it's still going to be a cat and mouse between who goes first, Sony or Microsoft. Okay. So I don't think they're going to go within a day of each other. I don't know how that's going to play out, honestly. I mean, I would think that Microsoft is going to go first because they're just going to say, yep, we're ready. And then
Sony will see the pricing and be like, okay.
Yeah, then they'll scramble and maybe, a couple of weeks later they'll come up with something. But who knows how it's going to go. But I do think that there will be a E3 week that goes on that week. So I think it'll still be pretty cool for the fans. And honestly, for the people that stream the live streams, it's not really going to be much different if you're still at home kind of live streaming it than being at the event, because at the end of the day, you're still going to be showing everyone what's going on with the latest games that are coming out.
We'll get that. We'll hang out. We'll watch, all the different streams. We'll get struck by Ubisoft again.
Good times.
No one stream Ubisoft. Just a reminder.
So I had a question for y'all. The weirdest part about E3 is that it's so front loaded, and we get all the press conferences back to back, pretty much in 72 insane hours. But then there's usually the 3 days afterward where there's the floor demo. Where there's all the stuff that's actually in the convention center.
A lot of interviews too come out of that.
That's when a lot of times the bigger stuff ends up trickling out, which is games journalists getting to talk to game developers and play stuff and write big impressions. And sometimes the first real gameplay is when that comes out. That's usually when the Nintendo Treehouse happens, where we see 2 hours. What's it going to be? Are we just going to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all directs from all the companies, and then just the rest of the week they just take off? Or are they going to release demos? I don't know.
I think we'll get videos posted about interviews because they're going to be setting those up still.
There's a lot of news that comes out of those tree houses too, if you think about it. That's where we found out that some of the Pokemon stuff, remember that leading up to Sword and Shield? That's where we found out that Fortnite was going to have native voice chat, the first game on the Switch that did that.
True.
And then Mario, remember we heard that Super Mario Maker 2 wasn't wasn't going to have like friends or whatever being able to play together. All that stuff came out of the treehouse and people just sitting down and talking about it. And then we got our first like half-hour look at Animal Crossing, and people love that. So they should still do the treehouse just at Nintendo's headquarters or something. Set up a spot over in Nintendo of America, a whole conference room, and just bring people in. The problem with that though is the nice thing about E3. A lot of those developers were already there anyway. Like if they were third-party developers or something, they're already there. Like Epic, they were already there. Epic Games was already there for other stuff, and they just kind of rolled in. Here's Fortnite for Switch and all this stuff. That's the thing they'd have to figure out. They just have to schedule around that. But I do wonder. I hope there's a whole week, because it's so easy to like just be like, all right, here's a week where we're just gonna see a bunch of video games. But what if they decide to just go all over the place? What if all of June is E3 now? That would be tough. That would be like, I don't know. I prefer everything still in that week, and we just have a schedule to go on. They release it, and it's like, all right, this is where but then wouldn't E3 and ESA still have to kind of work with all of these companies to schedule that, to make sure nobody overruns?
We talked about that on our show last week, and I don't know how the ESA is going to, I'll say, moderate or set up a schedule themselves, because any of these companies can say we don't need you for this. We've got our own thing. So why would we work with you on getting some type of scheduled content out? It doesn't really make any sense to me. But having said that, the ESA did say that they're thinking about coming up with some kind of virtualized direct style thing. So I don't know, maybe they are working together on something, but it's hard for me to imagine that Microsoft and Nintendo are all working with the ESA right now, getting some type of, I'll say, a virtual E3 up and running when they can just do it themselves, whenever they want.
Yeah, like let's say the ESA has like the E3 channel, right? Like on YouTube. All right, so Microsoft live streams, Nintendo live streams, the E3 channel live streams. Microsoft and Nintendo will get more viewers than that E3 channel. So it's like, why wouldn't we just stream on our own channels, get, tons of people compared to this new channel that the ESA throws together real quick? It's like, it doesn't make much sense to me to not just do it themselves and just be like, we'll see you next year. Maybe, depending on how this goes. Because what if everything, Nate, let me ask you this, because you've been really unsure about E3 going forward. If all of these companies do their own thing and all their projected, sales and all that still hold up and everything seems business as usual for them, there was just no E3, would they pay the money to go back in 2021 or just do it themselves again?
They would do it themselves, because this basically is setting the example of that with publishers going forward on their own, that they're going to realize that the return on investment that the ESA and E3 were giving them is no longer viable, it's no longer needed, and they can do it on their own. And that's the risk that the ESA had to evaluate in even canceling E3 this year. And they still have some sort of confidence that they're going to be able to throw some sort of digital event together, whether they have companies like Square, Capcom, or whoever participate in it. And I mean, they're still looking forward to 2021, where they still detailed it as this influencer friendly event that just sounds like a nightmare.
I mean, like if let's say if you're Capcom and you have a game that's third party and it's on Microsoft and Sony's platform, and then maybe you also have one for Nintendo, but you would just go with them anyway, because it's probably like, if it's a Monster Hunter they make for the Switch, they would just go to Nintendo's Direct and just put it on there. But like, wouldn't you go to Sony or Microsoft rather than the ESA if you're gonna show your game and be like, hey, can we put this in your State of Play or your Xbox, Xbox Live or Xbox Direct?
I mean, if they can, they would. The problem is that E3 planning typically begins as early as January. So Microsoft would have already consulted any third parties who are going to have a game presentation.
Well, Microsoft mentioned at one point theirs starts like almost immediately. Phil Spencer even was talking about it in October, how they were already going through stuff.
Yeah. So there's a lot of moving parts that go into all these conferences. And what you typically see at a Sony or even a Microsoft E3 presser is whatever game they have exclusive marketing deals on. So like we saw Cyberpunk last year, it's because Microsoft has a marketing deal with it. You saw Call of Duty always at the Sony show because Sony had the DLC marketing exclusive. So those type of deals are always made well in advance. So if I am Capcom and, let's just say they're announcing I don't know, just a random game, like a Dino Crisis, just to name a game.
What?
If it wasn't,
reset era. Hello, this is it.
no, there is no Dino Crisis coming at E3 or in the future.
Yeah,
But
they canceled that, didn't they?
if it ever even existed, everyone could play Dino Crisis 3 on their Xbox.
Oh, God.
Don't remind me.
Oh, no.
Space
Clone
dinos.
dinosaurs.
Piece of hot garbage that game is.
Yeah.
Or I can play it on my sweet new PS3 right here. Go on.
Ew. But yeah, like if Capcom doesn't have that type of deal placed, they still want to do their own show. Maybe that's where the ESA would come out and say, hey, you can show, your 6 games that don't have some sort of exclusive marketing deal. Then Namco all of a sudden joins up, and then you have Square and you have all the Western companies who all of a sudden, hop on board because it gives them that centralized station, be it on Twitch or YouTube. So that might help them, especially if the ESA can say, we're going to stretch this out over that 3-day period. You're going to have your own dedicated, 1 to 2 hours. You're not going to be in direct competition with Microsoft or Nintendo. You're not going to cannibalize each other in announcements. You're going to have your own time to shine. Mm-hmm. That would benefit them. But I don't know if the ESA necessarily has that type of competent management who can pull that off in the next, 6 to 8 weeks.
It's going to be weird. June's going to be so strange this year. I never made it to E3 either. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Is it going to be strange? Because that's the point. Like, I think there's still going to be a lot of announcements that get made, all pre-recorded. So is it going to feel any different to you guys in any way? Like,
I mean, maybe.
I think
what I'm saying?
like sitting down at a dedicated time, knowing from this time to this time, I'm going to be like covering this.
I think the weird part will be that a lot of places won't be able to get straight up interviews with some of these.
Yeah.
Some of these.
The strain. Those interviews will probably still be conducted in some way. I mean, the major outlets are still going to be in contact with the publishers. Right. All that business is still going to happen. What's going to be strange is that you're going to have a giant lull when it comes to E3 rumors.
Oh yeah.
Things are not going to leak because there's not going to be those booths under construction where someone's going to send a DM on Twitter saying, "I just saw Skyrim 2
Commander Keen."
Yeah, or Commander Keen. They're not going to send those messages out saying, "I'm building a Commander Keen booth." I don't know what the hell that is.
Hold on. Pull that video down.
I think the biggest difference is going to be there's not going to be as many mistakes. Like, think of all the famous mistakes of like when they hired Jesse, that vlogger dude, to try and announce what that Need for Speed game, and the teleprompter broke. So he just went, "Yo, dog." And he started dancing during the EA show. There was a time when they were demoing Uncharted and the controller just died. So they pulled out another controller and that controller died too. So they brought out a third controller. Like, I feel like it's going to be really clean this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jordan. They are announcing Skate 4. They got to bring us in. Put us on that stage.
I'll ride a skateboard right onto the stage.
Real slowly. What's up, gamers?
What's up, gamers? Have you heard of Skate?
Of course you haven't.
Oh man, it's gonna be. I think it'll be interesting to see how they handle it, I guess, or what ESA and E3 come up with. I thought they should have gone to Jeff Keighley and brought him in to do like his little. He used to do that E3 show every year. Just have him do something like that because he actually has contacts.
How do you know he's not? How do you know that the ESA isn't? They've canceled it. How do you know that the publishers haven't rallied around Keighley and he's going to do something?
He could do his own.
He
could do his own E3. Seriously, he could do it himself. Just
well, you figure. I mean, the ESA did say they had talked to publishers. They briefed them on everything. You have to figure there was some sort of discussion of this is what we're thinking as a substitute, and publishers had to say we like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think it was just the ESA saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing? We're going to cancel E3," and they're just like, "Cool."
Yeah, but if somebody told me that, I would kind of believe them with how the ESA is.
I mean, I have to. If the ESA is really running things behind the scenes that poorly with the cancellation, then they should not even bother planning for an E3 2021. They should just say we're done.
Accidentally leak everybody's info, So
yeah. Yes, they did.
Accidentally.
Oh man. Yeah, I was gonna say when that happened, I was like, yeah, ESA is.
That's a big hurt.
Yeah, that's great. Let's go over to some of these super chats here. Aiden Quinn says today's pickup was a toilet paper roll for $15. What a deal!
One roll, man. You're getting a
people were
buyer's market.
People were selling squares on eBay for $1 a piece.
Oh my god!
This just shows how stupid people are, bro. I mean,
and people were buying it. The one I saw sold like 79 of them.
People are buying. Like, this is just the dumbest thing I've seen.
Yeah, I got retirement up in the linen closet upstairs. Apparently.
Could you imagine? I want to see unboxing therapy, and they open up a single sheet of toilet paper and go, "Oh yeah, double ply, very soothing."
Oh man. Hey, I'll tell you what, if you have enough of that toilet paper and you're trying to just sell random stuff on eBay, just throw one of those in. I think it'll sell immediately. If you're trying to sell game systems on them.
E3 plus toilet paper.
They're gonna start packaging it with Fallout. What was that Fallout game?
Oh, dude, we should try doing that. Somebody should.
Why wouldn't you just use that as toilet paper?
No, dude.
You get the Fallout MMO and you get toilet paper. It's
The first
bundled together.
yeah.
You get a free copy of Fallout.
Oh my God.
MMO.
There you go.
Misclick, yeah, exactly. Call it Flush members. Flush members, and they give you Fallout 76.
I bet you if I put a roll of toilet paper up with Fallout 76 and it was like $5, people would still not buy it.
It'd be the highest. Well, you could sell. They're gonna trick it and be like, now look how much Fallout 76 is selling.
They'd be like, Fallout 76 is with it. No.
I'll get crusty. It's not worth it.
Let's see. We have Brian says I'll survive on rice and beans and my Switch.
There you go.
Just a Hair says, come on Dreamcast guy, no nudes on stream.
Oh yeah, so my delicious instant noodles. I didn't get a chance to eat, and I kept trying to eat it real quick.
Mirror Shield says, how many toilet paper rolls will a PS5 cost? How many toilet paper squares? That's the big question. Two ply gets like $1 a piece on there. Yeah.
In the Fallout universe, everybody uses bottle caps as currency.
Caps, yeah.
Who would have thought the real currency is you're going to walk into a store and pay in toilet paper sheets?
It's so weird. Philip Patterson says, at this point, do you think with everything going on, it's realistic to assume next gen is going to be pushed into spring 2021? That is a conversation that keeps coming up with a lot of people, and no one really seems to know. That's the weird thing. No one's like, oh no, definitely not. People are like, I mean, we gotta.
It's only time will tell, like how this all plays out.
I think they got to start a production and see how many they're doing, how many they can make.
Yeah.
So they'll do the math and be like, well, this is. I mean, honestly, I think they'll go holiday either way. They just might not have as many.
I think things may push a little bit. A little bit.
Okay. So like instead of October, it'd be November.
Yeah.
Or are you thinking like they would actually push it to next year?
Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. I think the longer time goes by without any announcements, the more at risk we are of that.
What about
I could be completely wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, Microsoft could be ready to rock and roll, next week. We don't know, but
let's say that PS5 launched in November. We're almost 7 months out from that.
That's the concern. I mean, I just feel like things may push slightly.
Okay. Nate, what do you think? You think if you got to say right now, consoles get delayed? Yes or no? What do you think?
I would say Microsoft launches this year, Sony delays till spring.
Whoa.
I would agree.
Launch.
Interesting. Okay.
I can maybe see that a little bit, because what if they were going to do the same thing they did with the PS3 and have the Japanese launch the following year, instead this time they just do a worldwide launch and get everything ready to go in the spring, because they did launch in, I think it was February 2014 in Asia and in Japan.
That's right. They went a little later. Yeah.
So maybe they just say, because I don't think there was no way they were going to have to do Japan later, I think, with the PS5. So what if they just do it all at once right there, and they get their own window to sell? Yeah,
because we saw those reports that Sony was having a hard time with pricing and everything with the parts. So I mean, the thing with the Switch showed that these companies can launch in the spring if they want. They'll still sell out day one anyway. It's Sony. They
It's a
showed us a
brand at this
PS5
point.
logo, and the thing trended online. So
Yes.
I think the only issue, I think for at least what Sony's probably worried about is like the big game, like the Call of Duties, right, and the stuff that's that's going to be
that's a good
next
point.
gen right there. If that's all going to be Xbox, Xbox is going to get all of that. Even if they have marketing deals or whatever, it's like you want to play the newest Call of Duty on the biggest system, it's going to be Xbox Series X.
Even like Madden.
Yeah, Madden, exactly. Madden, NBA 2K, all of those games that we all just kind of like, okay, yeah, another one of those. But those are all the best sellers. Every time you look at the you look at the NPD, everybody buys. So many casuals or just people just in general just buy PS4, Xbox One for 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, FIFA. These games.
Yeah.
So if Microsoft is the only system that has that in terms of
Microsoft becomes the default system, whereas Sony has been the default system this whole generation. People just for a while, people picked up the PlayStation 4 because they didn't want the camera that came with the Xbox One.
Especially if if the Xbox Scarlet or what's the other one, the Lockhart, if those rumors are true,
$300 system that comes out.
If that's a $300 system and you bundle it with Madden or something like that, that's going to be a pretty interesting, pretty good proposition for lots of gamers.
Do you think it would do more harm than good if they launched early, but they did limited supply, so they kind of had people fight over it? And then kind of have that supply and demand.
I would rather
have you
just
not gone to the grocery store and seen it?
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
About to be some Sony branded toilet paper.
Wouldn't you think that could also be another? Would you say that'd be more harm than good? Because I feel like in a way that'd be its own marketing.
I mean, if
you have to fight over a number.
If they got 500,000 units and they were like, we either launch now or we wait till next year to have 1 million. On day one, I'd push the 500,000 day one and be like, we'll just sell them out and we'll have presents for the holiday. That's me though, but I mean,
because they the experience out and let other people
they'd still sell the PS4 game. They still say PS4 systems probably too, but I'd be like, I want at least the presents next to the Xbox. But that's me. I mean, they could wait. They could still sell it in the spring anyway. People will buy it. I'll buy it. So
I mean, I also think that PS4. I mean, if let's just say they want to change it to next year, they can still have PS4 and they can put it for the $199, right? And maybe you get The Last of Us Part 2 or something like that. Or maybe you get something. So there could be some pretty good deals. So I think PS4 would be able to do all right. But I mean, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. This whole CV deal is
it's all over the place.
Wreaking havoc on lots of stuff in terms of uncertainty.
I do think if they don't launch the PlayStation 5 this year, I do think that they may lose a lot of sales. This is anecdotal, but just talking to a lot of personal friends that only own a PlayStation 4, a lot of them are still playing God of War. A lot of them are still playing Spider-Man. A lot of them are still playing Uncharted 4 that came packaged in with their PS4 Slim. A lot of these people are ready for a new console and they're ready for these sequels. So if you tell them, well, that's going to be 3 months later or 2 months later than the Xbox One, maybe some of those people will, or later than the Xbox Series X. I do think that some of those people are going to kind of lose that lightning hype.
Oh, okay.
Let's move over here. Thanks, Frederick Sims, saying disappointment / excite you most. And then it just says hashtag Nintendo Direct.
Oh, what disappoints you or what excites you most?
Yes.
I think they're saying Directs disappoint and excite.
Okay.
What has or future directs what we want to see? I'm just gonna throw something out there for the content.
Whoever made that comment has to go in the chat and
to us.
I'll say,
I want the next direct. I want the next direct to actually have some gameplay for the remaster of Crystal Chronicles, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, because they went so silent on it. We saw a bunch of it, and then they went away for a while, and they came back. It randomly got delayed. Nobody even talks about this. It was supposed to be out in January, and the last minute they delayed it and just said summer. So we still haven't seen the Crystal Chronicles remake in so long. So I would like to see some Switch gameplay.
Okay, let's move from there. Then we'll come back to the super chats in a bit. Let's go over to rumored Nintendo Directs that are slated for the next 2 weeks. Nate, you did say you would be shocked if there was not some sort of direct before Animal Crossing. According to VentureBeat, who wrote an entire article outlining what they have apparently heard, saying that there would be an indie showcase at GDC, which we've talked about the idea of one being around GDC anyway on here because they did that last year. So that's not shocking to hear that they might do an indie showcase. The weird part was GDC, of course, was canceled or postponed or whatnot. So they streamed it last year anyway, so that really doesn't affect anything, to be honest. So, but they are saying March 18th is likely for that, and then following that, the next week would be March 26th, and they do say that it would follow a first party slate, and then they also mentioned that they would lean on remasters, but they would try to paint a picture for most of 2020.
Well, that's a great description of literally every Nintendo Direct since launch. So
they will show games, new and old, gameplay with names attached,
with sometimes a release date.
Oh, they did reach out to Nintendo, but Nintendo declined to comment.
Yeah, that's on me. I really thought Nintendo would have commented on that one.
Oh man, but that would mean that yes, we went a little over 6 months before a Direct happened, then from beginning of September.
That's okay.
You know, I think most people looked at that, and I actually mentioned March 26th in my video before, so I was just guessing Nintendo. Don't come looking for me.
Wait, so the Animal Crossing Direct doesn't count as a Direct to people?
No.
Nope.
Even though
Animal
it's
Crossing Directs,
Nintendo Direct?
Smash Directs, Indie Directs.
They don't
It has
count
to
as
just
directs.
be direct.
Pokemon
new,
Directs.
Yeah, the new rule, apparently, that everybody knows but us, is that they have to come out here and say, this is a new Nintendo Direct, and then they have to talk about like 15 games, or else it's fake.
What?
I think people are mentioning a general Direct, like a Direct with several games in it. Rather than one.
But I mean, it's literally a Direct coming from Nintendo.
I think the other phrasing I've heard, which I do agree with, is major Direct. I've heard people say that it's been 6 months since a major Direct. The ones like when they did that all Final Fantasy one where they just showed off like
a plethora of games. Okay.
Yeah, a whole slate of stuff where it's like, here's 20 minutes of all new games.
Okay. All right. We've technically had a Nintendo Direct since then, chat. But if that's what you're going to consider Nintendo Direct, you can count that.
That Twitter account number of days since the last Direct, we disagree with you.
Have you seen it actually tweets?
I have not. I want to follow it.
Like it's called Days Since Last Direct, and occasionally when there's a Direct like the Animal one, it just tweets, I don't count this one. Like,
like the pin tweet says does not count Animal Crossing, Pokemon, Indies.
Yeah.
Days Since Direct, that's so funny.
So I'm also going to mention we did a predictions video. Nate, when was that? That was like the end of
January 25th.
We did it so long ago. But Nate, I listened back to it, and people should listen to that when it comes out.
How can that have aged well?
You would be shocked when that comes back out.
2 months old,
dude. Go back and listen to it when it comes out.
We should predict E3 this month.
I mean, if we predict it like that, predictions that comes out. First of all, that was all over the place. But I was listening. I was like, "Oh man, I might not be able to release this thing."
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, we did predict some outlandish shit like Klonoa HD.
No, yeah, okay, but dude, some of that stuff, people are gonna listen back and see the Direct and be like, "Wait a minute."
I think I did. Nobody bought the Wii game. It was good.
I bought the Wii game.
Klonoa was great.
Yeah,
so we need an HD version.
Whatever that predictions video comes out, people should go listen to it.
And if Klonoa is in the Direct like this month, that's throwing a dart. So if that happens, it was based. That's long.
Well, no, not that. I'm not talking about Klonoa. I'm talking about but
the realistic shit.
There's some stuff in there that I was like, oh man, I seriously thought about just editing parts of the. Okay, so anyway, when the predictions thing comes out, go listen to it because it's gonna be kind of funny when the Direct happens after that. Because that, first of all, that whole thing was off the wall, right? We had it was me, you, Scott, Roger, and
Rob.
Rob was there. Yeah, it's pretty funny to listen back to it. So
you should just bring it in anyway, just to as just.
Oh, I'm gonna put it out when the Direct gets announced. Which if it's the 26th, it'll be announced like the 24th or something. Then I'll just drop it right after that. So it doesn't feel like speculation, like, oh, a Direct's gonna happen, so here's the predictions, because we were already kind of recording it for that. I'm like, when the Direct drops, we'll just put it out there. But it's pretty funny, so people should listen to it before the Direct.
Oh god!
First of all, we had some fun. It was all over the place, but some of those predictions, they're pretty good. Some of those predictions are good now that I look back on it. So
I'm trying to remember some of that crazy stuff. I mean, we probably predicted about 150 games.
Yeah.
That would somehow show up in like a 30-minute direct. I mean, I think we had like Konami resurrecting franchises that haven't been seen in 30 years.
Yep.
Like, I'm pretty sure Zone of the Enders was coming to Switch in that video.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, yeah, I'll say that. There were... Oh no! Just listen to it when it comes out. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm not pointing anything in that predictions thing. Okay, but it was really funny. It was like what, an hour and a half long. And you know, Scott was messing around. Roger had some pretty good predictions there too. That when you go back and listen to it, it'll be interesting. Nate, you need to go back and listen to it, Nate, and see what was said in that.
I feared.
Yeah, like I said, I thought about cutting some stuff out, but we'll leave it in there. This was because we do say the date, okay? So it's not like we just recorded it, all right? So we're kind of safe there.
Roger does specify. We said this on Wednesday, like January 25th.
Yes. So I'm not getting in trouble, okay? Don't look at me. No one look at me. So it was before anything was like, you see the rumors people were putting out there even after that. So it was before all of that stuff. But yes, Nintendo Direct rumors. Everyone's gonna get. I assume we'll go out with March with a bunch of information finally coming out. It's been a slow start to the year for games. Mm-hmm. It has been. Sony's been completely quiet for the PS5, which is surprising to a lot of people. Microsoft has said surprisingly the most out of the two of them for their system. But maybe we'll get in April or May and Sony wakes up and get a Nintendo Direct at the end of March, and all of a sudden we can be moving along. So that is the hope. But I guess look forward to, if next week, if there is an Indies thing, then most people are really going to be expecting a Direct the following week. So and OJ, you talked a bit about how some stuff started showing up on the coming soon page all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So we got what, Xenoblade on there, right?
Yeah, Xenoblade, No More Heroes. People that's been there for a bit, but yeah, Xenoblade looks like it's coming pretty soon. According
it's exciting.
To
yeah, we still think that's May, right?
Well, that's what the rumors had it. That's what the rumors
had. A bunch of retailers were posting that.
If it comes out on my birthday, I'm gonna lose my mind.
It seems like a May type of game, May or June, something like that. It does seem like that type of game. I mean, I'm obviously looking forward to a huge Xenoblade fan, so
sure,
it's gonna be interesting.
Very cool.
See when it exactly comes out. Some people were talking about like I know some people even was like Shadow Drop. I'm like, dude, they're not gonna Shadow Drop.
No way.
Right? They're gonna Shadow Drop a 50-hour RPG.
Yeah, like you're not gonna.
They honestly
that has a retail presence.
It's gonna be in stores, so you can't Shadow Drop something in the store because people will like Walmart will just accidentally put it out like 3 days before or something. You're like, wait a minute, what?
That's what I was saying. I was like, why are some people trying to say like
that happened with the game? Which game did that happen with?
That wasn't it WWE?
That happened with the game.
It was
there was
Battle Chase.
Do you remember that? I found it in the store and I went by. I was at Walmart and I looked in the glass and I was like, what is that? I took a picture of it and I was like, this isn't on the Switch. And they had it there, but they delayed the game like a month and it was in the store the whole time. So it was just
sitting there.
Yeah, well, they had put it out and I was like, I'm gonna buy that. And they took it out of the glass and they tried to ring it up and it was register locked.
Oh.
It hadn't been announced for the Switch yet, and then it came out that it was delayed after like it was announced, and then like a week later they were like, oh, it's delayed or something. And I was like, that's so weird. All right, so that's why they wouldn't Shadow Drop it, because of that, because as a retail presence they're not doing it, but they might Shadow Drop other stuff, so it's always possible.
I definitely think they're gonna Shadow Drop Crystal Chronicles. I'm just so excited for that game. I've been watching this. I guarantee they're just gonna be like, next week, there you go.
Let's move over to this was a wild thing happened on Twitter. This had to do with Naughty Dog, Crunch, Kotaku, Jason Schreier, and Neil Druckmann all at once. Oh, there was the other developer on Twitter as well. There's some shots being fired back and forth, I gotta say. I'm looking at this, I was like, man, oh my gosh. So Kotaku put out an entire story about Naughty Dog and their culture of crunch, where it was more or less implied that you should be working a lot. They did mention that it wasn't directly asked of them, but the culture was implying that crunch is a necessity of the position. They were actively seeking out workaholics, and people were there was recounted that a person actually was hospitalized as well, and that wasn't the first that they said. But there was a pretty scathing remark, I would say, that mentioned that Naughty Dog isn't necessarily putting these products out because they're exceptionally talented. It's just that they have Sony's deep pockets to continue development for years and years past when it should have shipped. In fact, they said that a more talented developer would have shipped Last of Us Part 2 last year. That was something when they said that. I was like, ooh, man. This was an animator?
Jonathan Cooper.
Yep. Yeah, he was an animator. Probably
That's
one of the best animators in the industry.
Let me pull this up. So Jonathan
Wait, what was his
Cooper,
name
right?
again? Do you have a link to the thread?
I have a link. I'll put it in the Discord.
Y'all say girls are dramatic. Come on now.
This was something.
I've said a million times that dudes are the most dramatic on the internet all day over women.
So let me pull up this last tweet. It says, okay. Ultimately, Naughty Dog's linear games have a formula, and they focus test them quite a bit. While talented, their success is due in large part to Sony's deep pockets funding delays rather than skill alone. A more senior team would have shipped Last of Us Part 2 a year ago. Citing stories of crunch, people being hospitalized. They did say that where the section of the company they worked in, they did not work more than 46 hours in a week, but they observed a ton of crunch in other parts of the company and the studio, which that came after Kotaku had a large report where they had several sources of people working under anonymous, of course, veil of anonymity, where they did mention that there is just an immense amount of crunch there. And that kind of partners up with Rockstar had a lot of talk about crunch as well. And this, again, starts the entire conversation of what do you do about crunch in gaming.
Seems like every year we hear a story. Last year it was CD Projekt Red, and the year before it was Rockstar. Now it's Naughty Dog.
Well, Kotaku has pretty much been on this every year just about crunch.
I think if you look at it from, like, let's just say outside of game industry, like, so you look at it in like other types of businesses that I've worked with, Fortune 500 companies, this type of culture that they're talking about here is very common.
It's everywhere outside of games too.
It's everywhere, and outside of games, I've worked with companies like this. You don't have to work overtime, but get here by 6 and leave by 7. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of, like, you don't have to, but because
they dangle that promotion over your head.
Yeah,
right?
You're not really gonna get promoted. You're not gonna be able to keep up with others. You're not gonna get your bonuses. And this happened to me so much. The job that I had before I went full time on YouTube was just that. They're like, you don't have to be here, but you better be here if you want to be salaried. And then they fire you. So I mean, I think some of this stuff that that he's talking about is definitely bad, but I'm not trying to say that it's okay because it happens other places, but it is for companies that make a ton of money, like Naughty Dog makes for Sony. They do this, yes, they'll pay for your food. Yes, they'll do all sorts of cool things, and they will give you time off and you have your bonuses and all that stuff like that. But I'll tell you something from somebody who's worked in this atmosphere, it really does grind on you. And there's no way in hell that I could personally do what I was doing in that situation, because and the companies that I worked for were perfectionist type of companies in terms of they were the top of their line, whether it be, used cars or whether it be renting or tech companies in terms of contracting. That's what I worked in before. So like, I understand this culture. I understand it. And there is a part that you kind of need it, but there are other ways to get the job done. Cause I've literally seen it myself with other companies that can be successful, and there are other ways to get the job done, but they have their culture. Every company has their culture, and this is the culture there.
It was mentioned that in that Kotaku article that so many people have been burned out from the amount of crunch that takes place that like 70% or something of the Uncharted 4 development team had kind of just moved on, and they were really leaning on contractors to get most of The Last of Us Part 2 to the finish line now. And that's what it came down to, was how much longer can this kind of crunch go on for a studio like Naughty Dog before they just run out of people, essentially. That seems to be the big thing that they're leaning on. Because then Neil Druckmann, this was just completely indirect, it seems. I don't know if he just was like, I'm gonna tweet this today after that came out. But he said, even after years of working on it, I'm still blown away by the animation in part 2. Keep in mind, they talked about animation in that previous thread on Twitter. We have one of, if not the best animation team in the industry, both in raw animation skill and technical knowledge. Can't wait for you to experience their incredible work.
I mean, he's right. They do have one of the best animating teams in the industry, and part of that is because of Jonathan Cooper. And I mean, it's Spin. He's trying to recover and make it positive about what came out. And crunch in the industry is no secret. It's been documented numerous times, as MVG stated, and this is a topic him and I are going to expand upon in an upcoming Nate the Hate podcast. But crunch in the industry is toxic culture. It's not good practice. They can say whatever they want to make it sound good. It's bad. And what we're kind of seeing from any developer is a lot of the senior staff is being burnt out and they bring in juniors. And people say, well, eventually the juniors aren't going to come in. No, they're always going to come in, because to somebody working at Naughty Dog or Rockstar or CD Projekt Red or Nintendo is a dream job.
Right.
And then they get there and they said, you're working 75 hours for the next 5 months. And they say, wait a minute. That doesn't sound too fun, but to them, this is still my dream job. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get that bonus at the end. And after 5 years of working on that one game, you finally ship it and you have that cathartic feel of, wow, it's done. I can relax. And then another project is dropped on your lap and say, doing it again. And you eventually burn out. And that's why the indie scene blossomed over the last 5 years. You had a lot of EA employees who went off and started their own indie studios because they had enough of the corporate bullshit of a company like Electronic Arts, and they made their own indie things where they said, we're going to go at our pacing. We're going to make the project we're passionate about. We're not just going to churn out the same old stuff every few years. And I mean, there's no simple answer. Kotaku pushes the, developers have to unionize. That is a great solution. It also comes with risks. Right. Every single possible solution will come with an inherent risk, whether it be the studio is going to outsource. Will game prices raise? Everyone has said for years, games have stayed at $60, even though inflation suggests games should actually cost maybe $80, $90. But can the industry sustain a $100 price point for a video game?
Not with the microtransactions they have in them.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, it's would they even be able to get organized enough to have a union? That's my question, because they said that they had to lean on contractors just to get Last of Us Part 2 even done.
Well, I mean, also at that point, like, you start opening a whole other can of worms, because then you have more and more, like, in my opinion, you start getting more and more political interest into the gaming realm. And at what point are we going to start seeing more and more like tariffs or something onto gaming added on? Like, that's a very real fact too, of like, are there going to be more laws and regulations that might like kind of balance it out, but at what point is there going to be another pocket that like the money's going into? Does that make sense?
Because
what do you, that makes sense.
What do you do? Well, yeah, unions aren't free technically, so yeah, right. Yeah. But what do you do exactly here? Because if you're the consumer, right, and like, people are saying, well, let's just not buy the game. Well, what's that going to do?
It's going to get everyone fired.
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean,
nothing. That's I feel like a lot of people say they're not going to buy it, but they still do.
Oh, yeah. Most of them are going to still buy it.
Yeah, you're going to have people who will say, I'm going to boycott out of principle. And you see that with, a lot of different companies, because you find out they're doing some sort of, something that you don't agree with. So you boycott out of that principle. And there will be gamers who might only buy The Last of Us 2 once it's used. There's going to be some who are going to buy it new because they say, well, those all those workers had to do all those crunch and all that overtime. I'm going to buy the game to show support of them to enjoy their hard work.
Yeah, that's true.
There's really no answer to it. It's up to you as the individual of what you morally feel is correct. And I mean, it's like, every electronic company, basically, they're exploiting something out there.
Yeah,
in the world.
How's your iPhone made?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's going to come down to whether or not you feel okay supporting the company, knowing what they're doing. Like, that's really all there is. There's no.
I think the biggest
clear answer.
Well, you just touched on it earlier, Nate, and again, we've already kind of discussed it, is like the biggest impact would definitely be like those juniors not showing up, being like, I'm choosing to not work for a company that's going to exploit me, my time, my health, all these different kinds of things. And then they're like, oh shoot, we have like a drought of talent. Like, we need to change our practices and like change our scheduling or whatever it is to fix, the attraction, the pool to get new talent in. and unless people like are legitimately like, this is my dream job, but it's also like not worth the health risks or worth the giving up the rest of my life for, you know, like until that really ever happened, I don't think that they would ever be like, oh shoot, we need to change our practices. It's frustrating, you know, because like they're not feeling that consequence.
The unfortunate weird side of this that convolutes the conversation is a lot of the games that have some of the worst crunch end up being the most loved.
The best. Yeah.
That's like, it's always the problem of like, if someone told you like, every time I do this magic trick, I lose 30 seconds of my life, but it's the best fucking magic trick you've ever seen in your life. It's like, do it again, man. Do it again. Yeah.
I think that's and I want to say a couple of things, and Nate mentioned we're going to have a discussion on it on his show, but a couple of points I want to say is I think crunch means different things to different people, different companies. You know, the word is kind of thrown around a lot as something that is negative, but you guys kind of touched on it in some way. Anything that was ever made that is absolutely brilliant was some people, a group of individuals, went above and beyond what was expected of them. Like if you think about classic music, you know, classic albums in history, rap, rock, metal, R&B, whatever, the best records that were ever made, they didn't like walk in at 9 o'clock and lay down some tracks and then go home at 5. They were there all night, you know, busting their ass to get it done.
Well, we're talking about over the 40-hour work week, right?
Well, this is where you're bringing this, MVG. The time that I think that I'm okay with crunch is when you're crunching for something that's for yourself.
Yeah. Right, but
that's when I'm okay with it, because I've done that.
That's a great point. And the problem with Naughty Dog is their management, because when they bring the juniors into it, they basically let them fail. They made them fail. Like they didn't have the appropriate mentorship or leadership skills to say, you know, we're going to get you where you need to be as far as and invested into what we're doing. They just kind of threw them into the deep end and said, okay, you're working on this, get to this, do this, and they had zero chance of succeeding. A good manager, a good leader, is a person that makes their people that, you know, that work for him or her successful. If you promote success, then you're a good manager, you're a good leader. But it sounds like that did not happen at all.
And that's the thing. When you really look at a lot of the statements like Cooper put out, he goes right at the management and he basically says, this is where you guys failed. And you brought on a lot of juniors. And instead of sticking to that original vision, the managers said, let's expand that vision. So you brought on extra bodies, and their excuse was, well, we're going to hire more people to shorten the development cycle. But once they got those extra bodies, they kept adding to the game, and they made it more ambitious. Right, so you didn't shorten the development time. You sat there and said, hey, let's add a whole new continent to this world. And that's a problem. It means they set a goal, and then they just moved that goalpost even further because they said, well, we have more people. The hell with it. That's what we're going to do. Like, no, if you were good managers, you would have sat there and said, this completed our vision. Let's hit that target. We're done. You don't keep adding to the map.
There was that guy who was in charge. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm sure someone will chat remember, but there's the guy who was in charge of the Gears of War team who just left to take over the Blizzard Diablo team. So he's working on Diablo 4 now. Ferguson, Rod Ferguson, and some of his ex employees were actually talking about how amazing he is at managing instead of leading. They're like, he's a guy who could walk into your office and tell you this is wrong, completely cut that out, and the game would be better for it. And it's like, there's kind of those people who are able to be like, okay, we can work the same amount of hours and get a much better product. So I don't know. It definitely, it's a talent that some people have, and some people just try and crunch around it. I
would actually hear from Jordan a little bit here for a second. Jordan. Okay. You work pretty hard when you're editing. Mm-hmm. You've told us you've basically crunched for editing.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing all before the podcast.
See, okay, there we go. So you hear like these kind of stories.
I mean, I feel for the people who have to, you know, deal with this, and I look at it, since I'm in that aspect, in a different way, because in a way I am working for myself. You know, to get these projects done. I'm not working with the team. I'm just working for maybe a certain individual or other things. And it does come to points. It's like, yeah, I'm willing to work these longer hours or do more things to get somewhere or to get recognition or to have better credits on a future resume. But specifically when you're working with a team and there's a vision and a goal, I've been overworked, I've been underpaid, I've been overused, I've been exerted all my energy into projects and have no benefit or reward from them, and it sucks and it does hurt. And I do feel for the people who may be in certain internships or low-level employees who are just getting into the industry, or whoever may be forced into these positions. Unfortunately, we shouldn't have this in the industry. It should be a person by person basis, depending on how they like to work versus being forced to work that way. Like there should be a code of ethics, like, hey, here's your work week and here's how many hours you'd work, and it's a regular work week. Now, and then if you choose to, if your work schedule is, you know what, I'm down to work this many extra hours, and maybe that means you don't have to work as much another week or take an extra day off because you put 3 more hours in extras every single day, or whatever it may be. That would seem a lot better, because especially these bigger corporations, Naughty Dog, or Rockstar, or whoever it may be, it is sad to see that. Like, these are the biggest names in the gaming industry making some of the biggest games of all time, and you think like, wow, everything must be great there, it must be great to work there, and you hear, horror stories like this, how employees are treated or what they have to do. And it is unfortunate, and I do feel for them, and I hope that this industry does get better, and with more of these stories coming out, I think we are going to get to that point where they're going to take notice, because they don't want stories like this being said about their company, because it will affect their games and how people view them as a company. So
it's weird because they delayed Last of Us Part 2, and they're still crunching after the delay. Like,
yeah.
Like Animal Crossing got delayed because they didn't want to crunch. That was said by Doug Bowser. It's just it's strange to hear that a game is on track and then it gets delayed and they're still crunching after a delay. Like for that, you figure you delay it because you don't want to crunch to get it done.
It almost seems like crunch is accidental in a way of, like, you're driving down the road, think that you're about to get off in your exit, and you start to lose control of the car, and you crunch to get it back on. It seems like crunch is such a panic thing. Like, I don't know. I know so many successful projects that are big and great and glorious and had zero crunch, and then tiny little indie games that had a ton of crunch. I don't know. It's such a horrible problem that I wish we could just, like, snap our fingers and get rid of.
You, Evan, we have a Discord question.
Oh, yeah, we got a couple left.
Okay.
One specifically, I guess, I don't think any of us know anything about this. Any word if too many games will get canceled or pushed back?
They said that it's still on, so I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
This person was making a trip to the U.S. to meet us. So
I'm there. Let's go. I'm there.
The way that my year's going, I'm actually be going to too many games.
MVG's in too. Here we go.
Maybe,
All right.
maybe.
Who was the username of the question?
It was Dan guy, I believe. It's from our Discord.
Dan. We will remember you, Dan. We'll see you there.
Come see us. Well, yeah, MVG's in now too. All right, here we go. Nate, you're in, right? Nothing else to do.
No, I can go to the beach.
No Euro Cup,
What?
mate.
You're not even in Florida. What are you talking
No Euro Cup.
I'm not in Florida. I'm in New England. You ever see Jaws? You know where Jaws took place?
No.
Those are not
Not
beaches.
too many games.
Of
Those
course
are
they
not
have beaches. It's on the
No, they're
ocean.
not. No.
I'm in the ocean state.
Listen, you haven't been to a real beach, sweetheart.
What? Florida privilege.
I have white sand beaches. People come
Why do you
here to go
specify
to the
white?
beaches.
All I know is
Advertise them.
all I know is Too Many Games going to be the place to be this year, because it might be the only place to be this year.
The
so
only
there we go.
convention they have this
Right?
year.
I'd say TwitchCon, but you guys don't go, so I'll just cry by myself. It's fine.
No, I'm
People
saying
should just come to like Martha's Vineyard. We can go bike riding.
yeah, that's not
Vineyard.
happening. Why wouldn't we? What, dude? Too Many Game has GameCube games. Come on.
I have a beach.
I have a
It has
beach,
GameCube
a
games.
single beach.
There's beaches here
you got
too.
A beach. You got a beach party. Where's there a beach in Philadelphia?
Listen,
No,
you
dude.
got-
where we are, there's like there's a beach an hour away from us.
Talking about
There's
Dewey?
there's
Are you talking about
several.
Dewey?
They're
How
not
many-
even real
There's
beaches.
so many
They're
of them.
no, there's a difference between a coastline and then a beach.
There's like 5 or 6 of them
Coastline.
here.
Beach, okay? Come to Florida.
What?
We
Everything to Florida.
have beaches.
Yeah, we do. We have beaches here. Oh
It's
yeah, we have
called-
We're the best
We got beaches. We got beaches of all kinds.
We have where I am. We have beaches, and we can drive to the beach, or we have a bay we can go to as well, a very large bay.
Spyro Jones knows what's up. Narragansett Beach.
Now you can go crab fishing here, right, Jordan?
I don't do
You can go.
the ocean.
Just the assumption it's like Jordan on a fishing boat, crab fishing. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we definitely do that.
There's actually
on our weekend.
yeah, we're actually around quite a bit of water here.
The fact that someone's listening to this and knows what Narragansett Beach is makes this great.
Dude, there's a place right near here that's literally called Ocean City.
Yeah, that place is terrible.
They literally called it Ocean City.
Is that water cold like all year round?
Wasn't that a
know.
level in Wave Race? Ocean City or something?
It is.
Hydro Thunder, maybe.
Say where I live, it's dry as hell. There's no water at all.
No, dude, it's like
Rip,
it's like
we're so
dude, it's like stupid humid here, like constantly.
You don't know what stupid humans about till you come to Central California.
Nah, dude, it's like we look at the humidity report here and it's over 100%. It's like, how did that happen?
Listen, you guys
Okay,
let me
we
know
have
when
a-
you ride an alligator. Okay.
We have a lot of like New England people listening to this. Now I got a guy talking about Scarborough. That's a good beach. Scarborough Beach is great.
Either that or people
Welcome
Googled
to,
it
to the
just add
beach
them.
cast.
All right.
Now another guy's talking about Narragansett beer. No, that's terrible.
Yeah, be sure to
Narragansett beer is not good.
super chat your favorite beaches. We'll visit them all.
Let's
Hold on. Did someone just say I'm being beachophobic? Are you
we'll be
serious?
That was a thing.
I'll be at too many games, all right? Come on now. It's not canceled as far as we know now. So
And there are no beaches there.
no.
It's a beach-free environment.
This is from Matthew Hammond saying, what would be one game you would play in a 14-day quarantine if you could only play one?
Animal Crossing. Jinx.
I had that once. I was once at like $20 and I couldn't start my next job for an entire month. So I had to basically live off $20. And so I did a master file of Skies of Arcadia. I just played Skies of Arcadia for a month and it was very enjoyable actually. So I definitely do that again.
Do we have access to the internet? I would assume so, yes. In that case, I would just play Halo 3 all the time.
Yeah, some competitive game probably for me.
I'll roll Halo 3, yeah. It was
Yeah.
going to either be Halo 3 or Skate 3, but I'm going Halo 3.
I'd probably just play like Mass Effect 2 and get every possible ending over and over again.
Just
That's
on
actually
repeat.
now that you bring it up, for me it's either between like Overwatch or Animal Crossing, like two very different games.
Don't you want to be happy in the quarantine? You're gonna
No.
play Overwatch?
Like, but that's the thing.
You know that
Like,
game's gonna
do I
piss you
wanna-
the hell off. Like I watched you
know.
play it.
Do I want to experience freaking just the worst
You
of
want-
humanity, or do I
you
want
wanna
to
deal with
experience
that, Cliff?
animals?
Like I've seen you get like you want to punch the screen sometimes.
The
You don't
levels
wanna
of
play
salt in
Overwatch.
those streams are pretty ridiculous.
I love when she. I'm like, oh hell yeah, it's Overwatch. I'm gonna grab me some, watch, click, play
Were you,
Overwatch.
by any chance, were you there the one stream I got into a fight with that girl?
Yeah, I was.
I got into a fight. I was like, what? You were literally acting like you were
That's
12
what
years
it
old.
is. Cleto figured it out. Master Chief Collection, because that counts as all of the. Yeah, that's what you do.
Got him.
That makes sense.
Grandia collection. Fuck the police.
Oh, there you go. What if you do
fun.
like? Oh, okay, yeah. So you could do all kinds of collections like that. That's the way to go. Do a collection. Pablo Cross Flores says, my week in gaming: completed Darksiders War Master Edition on the PS4, began Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and picked up the last story. Stay safe, everyone.
Dude, nice. That's a good
That's a good
freaking
week.
weekend, dude.
Yeah. Bryson Warden says, OJ, last night I fell asleep during a stream, I guess, and I dreamt of you pasteurizing on not being a simp. Have you ever considered being a speaker?
Have I ever considered being a speaker?
His fiance?
Yes, that's what they say. Yep.
Have I ever considered being a speaker? Communication was my major. I was a double major in college, so I've done speaking stuff before. Like I have spoke. I went to like my high school. I've done stuff like that normally. So I mean, have I ever considered doing it like full time? Yeah, I've considered it, but I mean, like maybe when I'm old as hell, maybe. But not now.
Specifically, you gotta be past your no simp. Walk out and be like, don't drink the poison chalice of the female.
Chris Yates says, Spawn, I think you need to send Yong some of your toilet paper stash from your office. He's on his last roll.
He moved out of the state, so we can't.
I actually use that toilet paper to clean compound off of chips.
Just
wasting resources.
This is valuable, bro. This is my retirement plan right here. You see this?
Can I say something really quick? And this is from my husband. The forbidden word. This is from my husband. I know. I heard the gas.
I'm just gonna end the stream right now.
The male simp.
Stop. He literally said this, and I had to laugh because I was like, it's so true. Literally, this is not like a hurricane. This is not like post-apocalyptic. Water's still running. If worse comes to worse, people just use the shower. He's like, if you don't have like a freaking, what are the little?
I've done it. Not a bidet.
Yeah, not a bidet.
I blasted my ass.
Yeah, if you don't have a little ass blast.
Go on.
Why don't you just use a shower?
No, I mean that's the funny thing because I do that. I just take a shower all the time afterwards.
Okay.
You know, that's something that's normal for me. And the fact that people are like, they're making it seem as if like, oh my god, we need toilet paper because of I'm like, bro, y'all don't take showers afterwards normally. Y'all disgusting. Some of you are foul.
So Reddin literally takes a shower every time, dude. I'm like, why? And he goes, because we don't have a bidet. And I'm like, why don't you just get one? He's like, I'm just used to showers at this point. So when everybody's freaking out, he's like, just take showers. And I'm like, you know, that's a good point.
There you go.
I just want chat to know MVG is messaging us and being like, wow, this is really spiraling out of control.
And we have Michael Looper says, any of y'all interested in Spawn for Mortal Kombat 11? I gotta say, for the characters they put in there, Spawn looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, you'd be pretty cool in the game.
I was trending on Twitter the other day.
I saw.
Totally not biased.
Wise Moments says, would you like to see a new Soul Reaver game?
Yes.
I would, yeah.
They ended them really well, though. I thought like the complete cycle of it really finished perfectly. It would be like how they did the Prince of Persia series, because the 3 was a cycle. It started as a story and it had the best ending for that sequence because the last line was the first line. So it was beautiful. And if you just do another Soul Reaver, like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna do like a mini story in that Legacy of Kain series? Like, I don't.
I mean, do an in between, side story. Make a little spin-off.
Then we have Steve G says Nate predicted a Nintendo Direct before March 13th.
That was based on them giving a 6-week lead time to a late April game if they had a late April game.
Oh, whoa, hold on. This turned into their late April game too. Oh, if they had a late April game.
If they had a late April game, they typically would go 6 weeks in advance, which would make the 13th the final day they would have been able to do it to hit that.
So
but
you're saying they pushed...
No, Japan requires 30 days, so they could still feasibly have a late April release and still have an end of the month March direct.
They just need. They're gonna push Pikmin 3 30 days after the direct.
What?
Wait, what were we supposed to say?
What?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
What?
Got him.
What?
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 Narragansett Beach is a great beach.
Oh, okay, very cool. Okay, yeah.
What?
Shut up.
Demolition Man says Florida K-12 schools shut down till March 31st.
They did. Some counties like the 17th or something.
400K. I'm just gonna read 400K. 400K says, "Wow, so close to 400K. Anything special planned? You never know. Never know." Then we have Dustin Lee says, for having the balls to say COVID-19's other name out loud, that would be coronavirus, in all of your videos, knowing you'd get demonetized. All of those videos do get demonetized.
They do. Yeah.
And they don't get
a
pushed.
lot of yellow dollar signs.
We were so close to an average of 100K, and then it was just like 60, 40s. And we're like, oh, yeah. They did it.
It's crazy.
The reason I'll say this now, the reason I say the actual name of the disease or the illness, sickness, is because for a while people come up with all kinds of weird, fun names for it and everything, and it turned into a Voldemort situation where people were putting the whole thing on like a pedestal, right? Yeah. And it was making it even scarier, I guess, for people. And then we're getting to the point where it's a lot of panic, and I'm like, I'll just say coronavirus, whatever. We'll just say it. Fine. You get demonetized, but
I like his style.
I mean, whatever. We'll just say coronavirus.
What?
So we
I've been calling it the C infection.
Make it less more, panic, I guess. If you just say it out, put it out there.
I've heard it called the boomer remover. crazy.
It is the boomer remover. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
That's what some of the.
Wow.
Shows
All right.
That's for people who don't have hearts. No, I'm kidding.
Sacon 10 says, "Hey Jordan, how about a remake of Pokemon Conquest?"
I don't think that needs a remake. I think that game can still hold up. Maybe just a port on the to the Switch.
Young OJ says, "What's your favorite sports game?" Mario Strikers.
Definitely.
Let's go.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Tony, I was supposed to get it too.
NFL Blitz.
Oh wait, skateboarding counts?
They do have sporting events, so yeah, they should.
Oh man, I guess so.
I'm gonna say Overwatch because I only respect esports.
Oh wait, that's not a sport. Okay, all right, there we go. We figured it out. Oh man, I don't know, man. Mario Strikers is good. Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
I personally like snowboarding, so I have to say 1080 Avalanche.
SSX tricky. Oh, okay.
No.
Ooh, someone said Fight Night Round 3. That's a good pick in the
That
chat
is good.
there.
Specifically around.
NBA Street Volume 2 is absolutely amazing.
Def Jam Icon.
Yeah,
Def Jam
NBA
Icon.
Street Volume 2. Def Jam Icon. NBA Street Volume 2 is so good.
Look, the correct answer is Blitzball.
What's the league?
Quidditch? Wasn't there a Quidditch?
Quidditch. There was a standalone Quidditch game on GameCube.
Quidditch? Let's get it. I like Quidditch. There we go.
Rugby.
This is from Mirror Shield asking, you think COVID-19 could affect Final Fantasy VII's launch date? I do not. I think that is set up and ready to roll.
I think games are the only thing of media that aren't going to get affected.
Well, we had what you call it delayed. Outer Worlds. They had to shut down the actual.
Well, yeah. I mean, the way, because I think of it as like they can release this digitally right to our hands. You know,
Sure.
we don't need to. You don't technically need to leave the house to get these games. They can still sell them to you.
But I think with the physical drops, the only thing that would be a problem is if you locally have your stores shut down because it's like a worst case scenario.
Right.
That would be it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII's coming.
I do have another theory on that, and that is there are teams that work in like China and places like that, like QA teams that these development houses utilize to get work done. So potentially, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but potentially there could be, delays for games that come out this year. But, we are hearing that the worst of the pandemic is over in places like China and Southeast Asia.
Yes.
So I would expect things to kind of get back on course here pretty soon.
Okay, Avedon says it's early, but congrats on 400K. Thanks, Avedon. We actually did a Beats for Breakfast podcast the other day, but hopefully I can say that, Avedon. I've put it out there, so look for that.
John dropping the info.
Oh well, there you go. It's early look. There you go. Edit that out.
Live edit.
I should have said something. I was like, I don't think he'll say it. And then he just said, I was like, oh shit.
Hey, he gets the plug. Look out for that. Now people know it's coming.
Only him.
Yes.
No one else. Not
Hey,
almost 3,000 people.
But you don't know when it's coming though.
That's true.
Okay.
You don't know when. I didn't say when it was coming. I don't even know when it's coming. But it's coming. It's coming. Keep an eye out for that. Make sure you go subscribe to Avedon so you can be ready for that when it goes up. Then we have Just a Hair says Nook closed Dodo Airlines due to virus. AC delayed.
No, don't say that.
Don't even play with me like that.
It's not funny, okay?
Evan's girlfriend says, how are you preparing for the Chinese coronavirus?
She's just being a supportive woman, okay?
Then we have 789 says, is Gear Club 2 worth the $20 in the Switch sale?
I forgot that game came out.
Gear Club actually, it has progression to it, so it has.
Oh, that's the game that crashed on me in my first race.
It has a bit more to it than a lot of racing games on the Switch right now when it comes to building up your cars. It has all like real cars in there and everything. Man, I don't know. I feel like for $20 it's not bad. Yeah, I think for 20. I think when it came out at 50 it was a bit too much. I think 20 is okay for that though. If you're looking for like a Gran Turismo type Forza type racing game with real cars that you build up and you earn money as you win races and all of that. That's not bad, I think. I think it's good. Katana Riku says, "Good evening, Spawncast peeps." And Enoch Thompson says, "I just won a game with a Tony Hawk soundtrack."
Hell yeah.
Tony Hawk.
Like a Tony Hawk game?
It's like a Tony Hawk game. What?
Let's go, dude.
On a
Wait a
phone
minute.
or something?
Hold on a minute. I heard there might be a Tony Hawk game. I saw it on Facebook. That post isn't around anymore.
That was a good move by that guy.
Oh,
My
man.
music's in Tony Hawk. Oops.
Not anymore, it isn't.
Yeah, buddy, you just got served a nice summon from Activision.
I wonder if
link
it's just
to
going to
it.
be a we get to use your music, but we're not paying you anymore.
Now
Tony-
link to my SoundCloud page.
Tony Hawk's coming. SoundCloud in the bio, right down there. Right, Jordan? Jordan's excited, right, Jordan?
He left.
Oh, Jordan just
BRB.
left. He heard Tony Hawk. He's like, I'm out of here.
Pre-ordering right now.
Yeah, no, that Tony Hawk 5, man, that put him over the edge. He's done with that.
Oh God.
This is from Patrick Wofford, who says, "Where is RGT? It was my mom and my sister at Child Smart." Man, taking shots at RGT's not even here. Jeez.
How dare you say things that sound so true?
Eddie Barber says, "I want a new Jet Set game." We all
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
This ain't that for like a decade now.
There's there's a whole Twitter community actually based around bring back Jet Set. Seriously, you can look into it. They're super nice people. They show like unused concept art. Like there's clearly material for another Jet Set. Give us another one, man.
Knowing Sega real quick, knowing Sega, we'll have to wait until Sony or something gets involved.
Yeah.
Or somebody's
Right,
got to
yeah.
come in and localize something. Or
I don't
do
know.
something.
This Jet Set game might make us money. I don't know.
Sega, I'm sorry, they're bums. Anyway, I'll stop right there.
Corey CCH50 says, "Is Blasphemous worth spending gold coins on?" You know, I see a lot of people who really enjoy Blasphemous. I played a little bit of it, and it's not. You know, gold coins though. How much is Blasphemous? Because I'm trying to figure out how many gold coins that actually is. Because that's not like that's a cheaper game. I know that. I'm gonna say for Blasphemous, it probably is worth the gold coins because I think it's like a $15 game, so it's not like you're spending like $40 worth of gold coins. But maybe people in the chat can. Yes, Blasphemous is very good. There we go. I thought Nate, you played Blasphemous. Help me out here.
No, I didn't. So
Okay,
that is blasphemous that you said I did.
All right, there we go. So I was right. I was right either way. Then there you go.
Rob from Rule of Two Review loves the game, and I've seen it. It seems like a pretty cool game. It seems like Dark Souls / like Castlevania type of game. So
Castlevania Souls.
Ring Fit TDR is the ultimate workout game. Max 300. There you go, Cedric. Let them know. Symphonic Balance says, "With E3 canceled, do you think Sony and Microsoft will have several presentations lined up depending on who decides to go first, with potential different costs for next-gen consoles?" I think Microsoft will go first. I think they'll tell us what their Series X costs. I think it's gonna be 600. By the way,
They seem to be taking the initiative.
you don't think so? You think the Series X is gonna be 5?
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, that is going to be a steal of a console at $500.
Microsoft's going to come in at $499, and Sony is going to be sitting there hoping that Microsoft comes in at $599. They're not going to, and Sony's going to sit there saying, "Oh crap,
Dude.
they're more powerful than us, even if it's only by like one little thing." And Microsoft is going to blast that in their marketing that they're the most powerful system on the market, and Sony then has to either already have a plan in mind that they're going to come in cheaper than the Series X with the PS5 because they cannot come in at the same price and be like, because that doesn't put them in a position of strength. It just looks like, oh, we're offering something less for the same price.
Yes and no, but I feel like it goes back to what Sean said. Like, what about the games? Like, what actual exclusives are they going to have other than Game Pass? Like the service, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like exclusive games are still a really big pull. So I feel like Sony, in a way, kind of has this card being like,
We don't
like,
really know
until you
any.
show us something.
I mean, what do we know about for PS5 exclusive games right now?
Well,
We don't know
I mean,
anything.
Yeah, that's.
we don't know anything, but we have a strong inclination that they are coming. Like, they're not just going to not make another PlayStation, not going to make another Horizon, not going to make another God of War. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're obviously going to come.
But like now we know, the next gen game we know of is from Microsoft, and that's Hellblade 2 right now. We're still waiting for Sony to show something about the PS5.
You think that has that much pull over consumer though? Over what we know exactly now and not in the future?
I think what Microsoft could potentially show at E3 will
a big effect.
I think it's going to hit really hard with some of the stuff they're going to show at E3. I think it's going to be, people are going to be like, oh,
Microsoft is going to come out. Yeah, Microsoft's going to come out swinging. They're not sitting back. They're not making the mistakes that they made with the Xbox One.
I hope so. Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, that's where I can't just give Sony the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh yeah, you have God of War, you have Horizon, you have all these franchises. For all we know, they're going to come out with God of War chibi version, and Kratos attacks people with
good. You got it.
It'll be a top-down tactical game. It'll be good.
Dude, God of War is so great at the end.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know it's coming.
This week I talked to somebody who worked on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. It was like an older coder dude, and he did a lot of working with Sony. And this is his guess, but he was saying that he can't imagine them charging more than like $500 for the PlayStation 5, just because they're afraid of it bombing at launch. And that was just his education of having actually talked and worked with Sony. I do think it's going to be 600.
If that Silent Hill stuff is real for Sony, that's going to be nuts.
That's going to be epic, dude. I
don't know. That's going to be crazy.
I'm buying a PS5 no matter what, but if there's a Silent Hill on it, baby.
Two Silent Hill games?
What if there's a Kojima VR game?
Stop saying... You keep saying Kojima VR games like it's not going to be like Silent Hills didn't get repackaged into a PlayStation
what happens
VR 2
if there's a Kojima VR game?
Okay, look, there's a Kojima VR game apparently, everyone. All right, PlayStation VR.
What if there is?
You keep saying that.
If I may, this is my thought process on all of it. Is like people are like trying to guesstimate the price of whether or not they're going to go higher than they've been before, or lower, or about the same. Like, I think in relation to like where technology is right now at this point, like the closest thing we can really think about and the most prevalent is like phone market, right? Like we see phones when they were having substantial changes, they weren't as expensive because they were selling way more of the new iPhone or the new Android. But now that we're seeing phones be so similar in power, in like pretty much the only things that are upgrading are like the camera capabilities and little features here and there. They're selling them for more because they're selling less. I feel like with consoles, they're still going to be selling more. So for people who are, considering, I think they're going to sell for way more for PlayStation or for Xbox. Like, I think that they're going to keep it around the same price of what we've been seeing, mainly because they know they're going to sell tons and tons of numbers, and they're not going to have to worry about raising that price tag. Because they're going to be selling less. There's obviously the jump in potential and power of these consoles is so much more than what we're seeing right now that they can make up for that. Now if they did both, like they raised the price tag and the power, that can kind of maybe bite back at them a little bit, but a lot of people would still buy it. But I think not as much as if they kept it in a similar price. I don't know if that makes sense to Chad, but that's the way that's the way it processes with me as growing up with someone who's been in the phone industry for like years and years.
It'll be interesting when Sony shows.
Chad didn't understand that.
I hope they do. I hope they're smart enough.
I can tell you right now, Chad didn't understand that.
I hope they're that intelligent.
Nate was trying to let everyone know that Kojima's working on a VR game. Apparently,
I asked what if.
That's a big
Just okay.
You say it a million times. So like, wouldn't it be weird if we kissed? Wouldn't it be so weird? It's like, stop saying it. There's not going to be a Kojima VR.
We got a Kojima VR game. What's next? EA games on the Switch.
What if?
What?
John,
stop saying if.
John, you've been making that joke a lot, bro.
I know, right?
You've been making that joke a lot.
I mean, at this point, I might just get burned out from that joke.
You might. I mean,
just get burned out. Oh man.
You might get burned out from that joke.
Nah, the apex of the joke's still coming, man.
That is a legendary joke.
Wait. Did you say burnout? Did you say burnout?
No, we're just going to get burned out from the joke because it is apex
30
tier.
I'm burning out from that joke, so we need to switch topics. But this is not a
all I know is that sometimes there's a need.
It's pretty legendary, by the way.
Right?
It is legendary.
Oh man.
Legends are made.
Oh gosh.
Joke crunch.
What can you say?
Joke crunch. Somebody in the chat said joke crunch.
You gotta stop planning all these ideas, Nate. Next thing you know, there'll be zombies outside. Let's
Yeah, I
go
know.
over here.
I was like cleaning some plants and shit. Too.
Oh my gosh! All right, all right. This podcast is gonna be wild in like 2 weeks. All right, Ethan
Versus.
Oh man, Ethan, we're gonna get in trouble. Ethan R says says OJ's a simp apparently. All right,
That is an apex of comments.
Oh gosh,
I definitely. I dropped about 5K on this person online. Whew, I hope she talks to me one of these days, bro.
I'm bankrupt, but she loves me in some way.
At some point, I'll get to her heart. Don't worry, guys.
Oh my God.
Matthew Hammond says Nintendo has some of the lowest turnover in the industry. Next Level Games talks about the greatness of working with Nintendo and work-life balance. Okay.
Yep.
Nintendo's been. They haven't really in the story for any crunch or anything that we've seen.
Retro
Like in the news,
Studios
so.
says, "Hold my beer."
Retro Studios
you don't
is
see much burnout from Nintendo.
Ronald Lucas says baby wipes are an alternative. Any true vet knows.
The poop wars.
Although I will say this: you shouldn't hoard those either. You know what I'm saying? Because those are actually meant to be for babies, you know, and for So I will say, because I've seen people doing that scummy crap, and like a lot of the stores in my area are saying one baby wipes, diapers, one box. That's it. Like you can't be doing all that crazy stuff because that's evil for that. And that,
especially if you're gonna take it online and mark them up and try to.
Well, that's exactly what people are doing.
Oh,
that's exactly what people are trying to do.
Juice Man Vaughn says, wasn't it stated that Naughty Dog was actually hiring actual film animators because of the shortage of experienced staff?
I'd have to check on that.
I think that was part. I thought that was part of the Kotaku articles that they were running out of people and they were like, let's get film animators in here.
Yeah, there was something in that Jason Schreier article about that.
And then Cedric says H3 Game Fuel tastes like liquid orange gummy bears. Jordan, can you get on that to verify?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
We'll review the Game Fuel and then shoot it by accident.
Oh yeah, Jordan, I had asked when you were gone how you felt about Tony Hawk because people were asking and it looked like it's happening because someone decided to tell us on Facebook for no reason. Mm-hmm. I told people you're excited. Can you follow up on that?
No, you can take my leave of absence is how I feel about that.
Okay.
I don't care.
I told him you were really, really excited after Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 and you're ready for the next one.
Absolutely not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just double check.
And then this some nobody says got my Animal Crossing Switch. Very nice, very nice. Octavio says I was hoping for Starfield or the Elder Scrolls 6 news at E3. I think Starfield even still kind of far off. That's crazy with Bethesda.
Remember Elder Scrolls Blade?
Did that ever come out to Switch?
I thought they delayed it, didn't they?
It got delayed, didn't it?
Did it? I played it. I don't know.
It will on like the Switch, right?
On the mobile or on the Switch?
I played it on Nintendo Switch. I have footage of it on my channel. They have on. It's fucking awful.
They had to put some more time into Fallout 76.
All right.
Some nobody says you can buy toilet paper from AliExpress.
Ew.
It'll just get to your house in like a month and a
You'll
half.
be returning that. It was defective.
Oh no.
Defective toilet paper?
How is toilet paper defective?
Listen,
Don't answer that.
Listen,
Yeah,
a lot of loopholes with AliExpress.
Sokar says glad when I work is more 40-hour week place. Okay. This is from Louis Ceresa saying Marxist Leninism is the solution to crunch.
What?
I'm sure that probably means something really deep, but I don't know what that.
Well, can you read it again?
Marxist-Leninism. Okay.
There you go. That one. Yeah. There you go, Nate.
Yeah, that's Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you only work on games about how great Soviet Russia is, then everybody loves crunch.
Hey, they did give us Tetris.
And nothing else.
And paid
No, it's
nothing
not
to the
the
man that
solution.
wrote that song.
It's yeah. Uh-huh.
Isaac Sullivan says, do you have any pictures of John without his beard? Maybe.
Yo.
I might. I'll have to check.
I got a mini beard
Maybe
for the
for
first episode.
400K subscribes. Yeah.
Maybe. I think the last time I think that was in probably, it might have been college.
Yeah, you've had the mini beard as long as I knew you before you went
The
full
mini
beard.
beard.
Yeah, it might have been college. I'll have to look. I have pictures from then. I'll have to check.
Some people leak nudes, you leak chin.
You just have to work on a Photoshop of it.
When will Spawn stop talking about the PS5 logo? That's from Zoob, and that will be when Sony starts talking about the PS5 logo.
Hey.
AC the Human says waffle stomp in lieu of toilet paper. And then we have some nobody says $2 for not kowtowing to censorship. Very good show. Switch Corner says Disney Plus just released movies early like Star Wars, Frozen 2. Due to Corona, will game publishers do this? You think? A lot of people home now, probably not, because then they would be encouraging people kind of to go out and get the game too, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they be like, if they put Animal Crossing out now?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that feel like, okay, go out and get it? It's like, go get it, because maybe you don't want to download it.
Majority of stores already have them in the back waiting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Friday anyway, so. I mean, it's already broken street date in New York, and it's already data mined, so.
Zaire Miller says, has anyone seen the Tony Hawk remake and Crash Wrath of Cortex remake rumor? Yes. I've thought about talking about that, because Tony Hawk remake, I don't know if it's a remake, remaster, or what. There is a new Tony Hawk game, it seems coming. Something's coming with that. But, I mean, Jordan always laughs when I bring up the new Crash game, so who knows? I might be right.
I mean, definitely a new Crash game coming.
There we go. Say we're in. All right. New Crash game, new Tony Hawk game. All right. Nice.
I don't want to talk about the Tony Hawk.
Okay. Don't talk about that.
The 90s are coming back.
Chris Childress says Broomstick League. You guys play Rocket League? I haven't played Rocket League in a while, actually. Maybe
I haven't either.
Yeah, neither have I.
Used to have a lot of fun with that.
One of my buddies has like 3,000 hours or something bonkers in Rocket League on Switch. He just plays it all day, every day.
You get your money's worth out of that then. Wow.
I game a lot.
Jet Johnson says, any way to map buttons on GameCube, third-party controllers, mods, etc. Playing Zelda series backwards and the inverted camera on Wind Waker. It's no bueno.
What? That made me so sick.
On the GameCube though, I don't. You know what? I don't think they're really. The only way to be able to do is if you
have to manually resolder.
Well, emulated, yeah. If you own the game and all that, you could technically emulate it through.
That would mess with me.
Maybe if you have the SD card loader thing with the Swiss, you know, the app that you load when you boot up, that may have some remapping features on there that potentially may work. But other than that, yeah, you got to use an emulator.
Yeah, there's a lot of options in that thing, and now it's a plugin. You don't even have to solder it anymore.
Yep.
It's really impressive. If you have a very large GameCube library and you want to try to, you know, like people don't necessarily like to take the disc out, pop it in, and use it right over time. You get that, you just load all your stuff on an SD card. It's really nice. NX Revolution says apparently there was a guy in Japan who got it, was cleared of the virus 2 weeks ago, but tested positive today for the second time.
Oh, Jesus.
That sucks.
It came back around.
Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Double dipping.
Yeah. Zaire Miller says, has anyone seen the third season of Castlevania?
Yes.
Do you guys like it?
It was all right, but it's mostly a setup for a better next season.
It doesn't sound very good at all.
It really doesn't. The pacing is pretty slow.
It has more effed up stuff in it. Like there's some crazy things that happen in it that are like way weirder with the writing.
Like what?
Spoil it.
I'm not
Spoiler.
Yeah, I saw it. Watch it.
Spoil it.
Some pretty good fighting
still gonna watch
animation, but yeah, like a lot of the beginning's just talking. Like
I haven't watched yet. I saw a bunch of people where Matt Alucard kisses boys or something, and people got real mad, I think.
There's some cool moments in it though, but like, you know, don't go towards apple trees.
Yeah.
Applebee's, your neighborhood bar and grill.
Don't do Applebee's either.
Dark Rengi says, please don't trust what communist China says. They've been lying this entire time.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean,
This was a gaming podcast.
All right then. Yeah. All right. Victor says, with COVID-19 happening now, if done right, The Last of Us HBO series might be a mega hit when it drops, since this will be fresh on everyone's minds. There we go.
We're still a whiles away from that.
Yes.
That's very early on.
We're going to finish up with the last topic, which is Reggie. Reggie Fils-Aimé has joined GameStop on their board of directors. Who saw that coming?
I did. I predicted it.
video?
The video. I didn't put up the video though. I just decided not to do it. So now I feel bad.
I'm like 45% sure it was in our direct conversation from January.
You know what? I'm gonna edit that in. No one will know. I'm just gonna be like, "Yo, guys, I heard Reggie's going to GameStop. Don't tell anybody." And then I'm
I'll
gonna
be honest here.
Cut over. Okay.
I'll be honest. I did not see it coming, but it makes sense. Like when you see it, you're like, "Listen, it fits. It makes sense. Like he's not God. He can't just like snap his finger and make it work out. But if there's someone that literally has the most potential, the most like draw to the name, like most like reputable person, like I think he is like he in the industry. Like who better? You know what I mean? So like it makes sense. I didn't see it
Jeff Keighley.
but you stop that. You stop that.
Actually, wouldn't be that bad.
Right. It's so shocking. I mean, this feels like the analogy I make is that it seems like such a weird time for him to take over because they've already lost so many billions of dollars.
Right.
Like it's like the Titanic is already underwater and it's sinking faster and faster. And at the last minute, you're like, "Congratulations to our new ship captain, Reggie Fils-Aimé." It's like, we can't unhit the iceberg.
Yeah. I don't know what Reggie. I mean, he's on the board of directors. He's going to he's probably going to give advice, be an advisor role, and then he'll vote on decisions. I don't really know like how much of it. I mean, he'll do stuff, right? But like,
do you think he would have agreed though if you genuinely like had believed it was beyond?
I think he agreed because they dropped a bunch of money on the table, and they're like, "Hey,
understandable."
And he was like, "Wait, I don't have to do. I mean, I have to do stuff, but I'm not like in the trenches at like
thumbs
the stores."
Up, thumbs down.
This is like Ninja taking the money for Mixer. I mean, nothing's going to come out of this, honestly.
I mean, I think he might have been, retirement. He's in retirement, and he's like, "All right, I'm doing these speaking engagements. This looks like this could be interesting. Let's go try."
He doesn't have to go there. Like he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have to go there, work in the trenches, and like they're going to drop a bunch of money. It reminds me of when was it like when Shaquille O'Neal went on the board for Papa John's, when they have their disaster, right? This reminds me of that, and Shaq's just like, "Yo, I'm sorry."
No.
And like they paid him like $5 million. He ain't done shit. He's done nothing. He's done nothing for Papa John's. Pizza still tastes like trash. So it's the same thing here.
They want that name. They want that name. They
want that name. And then a couple black people are like, "Okay, I might go to Papa John's now." "All right, shit there." It's the same thing here. "Oh, Reggie's there. Okay, I might go shop there." It ain't nothing's gonna.
Shaq flavor pizza. They're gonna come out with the Reggie card. You're gonna get the Reggie card and have him be on the card, and it's that shitty GameStop credit card.
Shaq drinking a bottle of water on Twitter is still the most wild thing you'll ever see, just because like it puts in perspective how large like basketball players are. When they pick up like a water bottle, it looks normal to us, and then it's like this tiny thing compared to Shaq. It just shows how tall, how big these basketball players are.
I'm just mad we never got that Reggie Fils-Aimé daily vlogging channel on YouTube.
Right.
So OJ, you're saying this is for the name. They just want that name.
Well, I think Reggie's going to help them with the ideas. I think it's a good idea because he's going to try to help them brainstorm and get some new stuff in. I just don't know if it's going to actually completely change things because the analogy I made with Papa John's, it's Papa John's is still trash, So I mean, they're still having issues. Now, obviously, they're not as bad as GameStop in their situation because GameStop's in a worse situation. But at the same time, what are they? Shaq can't do anything to fix the company, overall in terms of the bad press, the problems, the issues that they've had. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be able to fix all of that. So they've got to come up with some ideas. Shaq is good at marketing. The man knows how to market. He's funny. He does have ideas, but will it be enough to actually fix everything? I'm not so sure, but it's a good. You might as well. Why not? You got the resources. GameStop has them. They can put them on. So you got to try something. You just can't go down and without even trying. So
didn't Shaq make a rap album at one point?
Yeah, he did. He made multiple rap albums.
What if Reggie dropped his own rap album and it's called Trade in Credit Motherfuckers, and he tells you about the best daily deals?
I don't know if that'll help. I don't know how good of a rapper Reggie is. Shaq is
make them a lot of ad revenue on YouTube. They could do that. That could save the company.
It's true.
They start complaining about themselves and make ridiculous amounts of money.
Evan, do we have any Discord questions left?
Last one. With so many people doing the whole work from home thing, have any of you noticed traffic increases to your channels?
No.
It's actually the opposite. Yes, the opposite.
Okay.
Some of our stuff, I feel like a lot of YouTube videos not necessarily viewed, but listened to, I think are during commutes. I think people just listen to YouTube videos sometimes during commutes or at work. Like they're at work and it's on like a second monitor in the background or something. It's just when you're at home working, it's it technically you're still doing the same work, I guess, but it doesn't feel the same for a lot of people. But I think that commute is where a lot of traffic for YouTube comes from, especially in the morning or even in the late afternoon.
Yeah, we usually get people being like, I'm on my lunch break, and it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bit more scattered now, I would say. But yeah, views are down just because of all the stuff going on right now in the world and people kind of being all over the place. So, but I think it'll come back around whenever a direct happens and gaming stuff really picks up. PS5 happens and all that stuff will really start jumping again with traffic and people just being overall more interested. So, yep. Then we have David Valdez finish up here with some of the super chats. David Valdez says, supporting the Spawncast. Stay safe, everyone. If there is a government shutdown, you guys should have a daytime Spawncast since everyone will be stuck in their home.
Ooh.
I've been thinking about streaming more. It'd be kind of cool if at some point we just did a random like Wednesday show and just called it midday break or something. If there ends up being a big, I definitely, there was that viral tweet of like, we're entertainers. We need to be entertaining in a time like this when shit's chaotic. So I don't know. I think that's actually a pretty good suggestion. Maybe at some point.
The Spawncast Q&A.
Yeah. Just a pure one. Yeah. Just straight up.
I live stream like maybe 3 times a year, but I'm thinking about maybe doing a little bit more.
That'd be cool.
As well.
Yeah, the live streams.
I've been doing just little 2-hour streams. I like those where I can like kind of do it and chat and be really high energy and then just like go eat.
What happens when the entertainer wants to be entertained?
Well,
listen,
that's when you watch. That's when you watch YouTube
for the
videos.
Wicked, Jordan.
Yeah, that's when you watch YouTube videos.
You watch YouTube videos on those. That's like some of the biggest Twitch
is a big thing about watching
YouTube
YouTube
videos.
Yes. Yes.
You know what's really funny is at one point I remember a while ago I streamed. I was working on a new 3DS, and that people were so interested in that as a live stream. So I thought about that. I was like,
Yeah,
what if I just
tech room. We can figure out how to set it up.
What if I just worked on systems on a stream, just playing around, trying to fix them?
I think that'd be great because people could ask you questions at the same time.
There you go. Isaac Sullivan then says, will your wife be in any videos again? I don't know. I never really asked her. Maybe.
Wait, is she in a video?
Yeah.
Wait, I need a link to this video?
That was a long time ago.
She was in 2 technically. She was in a behind the scenes.
That's probably the good one to watch. The
I
behind
need
the scenes
these videos.
one. Yeah.
What the heck?
Behind the wave or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably the one. That's probably the one to watch. That one because the other one we were just kind of sitting around.
Yeah, you undo like Pokemon cards, and she looks into the camera the whole time like, I want to die.
Well, she was also like 7 months pregnant or something then.
Yeah,
she was like, what am I doing here?
The whole video, you're like, oh, I got Raichu. You got like the rarest Pokemon card ever. And she's like, great.
Cool.
Yeah, the one to watch is probably the behind the wave one. I think that one is a bit better.
I miss doing those, but those are crazy to get together.
Yeah.
That's probably making the office.
I filmed a video with my fiance that I never released. I filmed a review of
Wait a minute, hold on.
Avengers Endgame, not my sex tape. No, but we did an Avengers Endgame review. She was so scared of the camera the whole time. She's just like the whole time, and she said, "Please don't release it." So we did it.
And then this is from Matthew Hammond saying, "Viral stream with Corona beers."
Yo, I mean,
that's gotta be
not that bad.
That's gotta be tough for that company. Oh man,
they have reported losses.
That's gotta be tough.
People are buying them as freaking vaccines. Did you see that? There's a whole movement. People are like, "Got my vaccine."
Oh, too bad beer is gross.
It's true.
All about the hard liquor.
Exactly.
Sorry, I know Jordan's a daiquiri kind of man, but
no, just beer. Gross.
Really? Scotch. That's what I would drink when I used to drink was beer.
MGD Light with like a nice like steak sometimes is pretty solid.
I'll just take hard liquor.
I think I'd usually have like Yingling or Sam Adams or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was fine with that. Or even like a Blue Moon with the orange. Orange every night.
A Blue Moon with the orange.
We went to the Blue Moon Brewery in Colorado. Oh my god, they have so many good new beers coming out. So good.
Blue Moon with the orange and like
Blue Moon.
Sounds awful.
There's like a raspberry sour coming out. Oh my god, dude.
A Stella Artois.
We completely sidetracked.
Jordan, you never had a Blue Moon with the orange?
I've had it.
Oh, you still okay? Well, if you don't.
All right. Well, I think that's all of our topics there. I think we're finished up then for Spawncast time. Let's go around here. OJ, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence, also Twitter, at Player Essence. Got some cool stuff coming up. I stream every single day, so just come out to the streams. We talk about stuff. You know, we talk about how God tier simping is. So come out to the streams, you know, have a lot of fun, all that good stuff. Giving away Switch stuff too.
How God tier simping.
So check out the channel when you can.
Top 10 tips to being a better simp.
Exactly. I promote that, and that's the greatest thing.
Let's go over to MVG. Where can they find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G, YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. Thanks for having me on the show, and I've got 2 videos coming out this week, so working pretty hard. Both of them are going to be about Doom, so if you guys like Doom, check out my videos. Thanks for having me.
Cool. And then what about Nate?
Can find me at DirectFeed Games. Link to my YouTube channel can be found there. Then there's the other channel that is called Nate the Hate. Have a video coming up with MVG talking about crunch within the game industry, and Naughty Dog have a video up right now about the cancellation of E3 and the future of E3. So people should listen to that because there's a lot of good insight in it.
Okay. Very cool. And then we have about Miss Click. Where can they find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. You guys can find me here on YouTube as Miss Click Gaming, or I am live pretty much every day except for Sunday on Twitch at twitch.tv/MissClick_live, where I'll be finishing Nier this coming week because we're taking off tomorrow. We'll be doing the 9S playthrough and then the 3rd playthrough, which I won't spoil. But yeah, come hang out, and it's a great time.
Jordan's really excited for Tony Hawk. Let's see where we can find him.
You can find me where I'm not going to be playing Tony Hawk is on my Twitch.
You'll be excited when that thing gets announced. Don't want to play with that.
We'll see. Probably not. Twitch.tv/Jordan Fringe. I'm streaming more again. I'll be streaming Animal Crossing when it launches. Probably way too much, but it is what it is because I've been waiting way too long for this game.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Then Max.
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. I'm still trying to figure out what all I'm going to do next week, but it's going to be super busy, and definitely a Doom Eternal review. Oh my god, I am so ready to rip and tear. So that and some Animal Crossing content. Definitely look for that next week on the channel.
And then Evan.
Just find me on Twitter at Kimmerix Project. Keep up to date with things I'm doing, random stuff going on. So go there.
Okay, that's going to do it here for Spawncast episode 154. We'll be back next Saturday night. Hey, if this holds up here, this VentureBeat stuff, we'll have an indies to talk about. Probably some Series X stuff too, because they're doing a GDC stream. So we'll see how all that goes. But we'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Beer is